Live. Welcome back, guys. Teamless Tuesday live coming at you for round 20. And it's going to be a belter of a Teamless Tuesday. Absolutely massive one. Everyone's got 8 additional trades, heaps to play with, heaps to do in your fantasy sides. And Turtles, I'm going to go to you first. Before we talk about these teams here, how likely are you to rewind back to 0 trades here, burn 4 this week and burn 4 next week?
I am not keen for this rewind. I feel like everyone is so trigger happy and everyone's super keen to just launch their 4 trades, make their team look super stacked, because there's a lot of fallen guns who are at that critical price point where you're like, yep, you have to pick them up. Basically, we're looking at Payne Haas and like Preston, those type of characters, and looking forward, you're like, if I just hold these guys, I burn 4 trades, maybe 4 trades could last me the rest of the season with injuries. I feel like we're going to cop 2 injuries this week alone. So I am very hesitant on burning 4 trades as soon as we go on.
Mate, I'm thinking about doing the 4. Like right now, I've got 4 trades plugged in, which is it's ominous. Look, no guarantees I'm going to do it, but at the moment, I'm looking at it and going, yeah, I could bring in Cleary, I could bring in Haas, I could bring in maybe Preston, like bring in some other options there too. So I'm pretty pumped, and a lot of the chat turtles too. They're saying burning 4 trades as well. Looking for Prime Minister, I'll take that. 19 green dots and 2 players off the bye, not bad. Willison, yeah, Willison's starting prop this week, guys, so he could go, but you could give another week. I'm probably recommending selling. Hugh here coming home with a wet sale, currently 53,000. Tough rank there. Hey, chat, how are you? CNK back to the interchange. You'll talk about him. Hey, Longy, absolutely loving the pod. Comp currently first, killing it, mate. Sweet, there's so much chat here, Turtles. Now, we'll do a quick blitz before we do go through. So we'll go through game by game as we always do, guys. But first up, I just want to give a quick run through of the top line news we got. So for the Panthers, nothing too noteworthy to talk about here. Pretty much what we expect. Isaiah Papali'i returns for HIA. Otherwise, it's what we expect from them. Nathan Cleary now has a clean run to the finish line. For the Broncos, they're lining up in this game where it's sort of do or die now. So I think we're going to get the best of the Broncos this week. We've got Payne Haas back. We've got Pat Carrigan back. We have Xavier Willison back to prop. We have Reece Walsh there. And we have basically the full contingent in terms of the back line. So if Brisbane are going to get it together, it's going to be this week. Rocking through, we got the Sharks and the Knights here. For the Sharks, again, pretty straightforward. Looking at their team, Nico Hines, 100 plus last week. He's still playing. Blake Brayley, he'll probably be back to 80 minutes this week. Britton Nakora comes back into that starting spot. We'll talk about him as an option this round. For the Knights, Kalen Ponga in there, of course. Bradman Best returns. You've got a rest last week. Dylan Brandon Fletcher Sharp in the halves this week. And then we go to the forward pack. Frizzell and Mooney in the start. Hopwood is nowhere to be seen, which is interesting. We'll have to figure out what's going on there. And Malelua comes in. McEwen had a minor, I believe it was a hamstring or a calf issue. That's kept him out another week. Now for the Roosters and Storm, quick blitz here. Teddy's still out for 1 more week. His HIA during Origin ruled him out for 2 weeks. For the rest of the backline here, Hugo Savala and Billy Smith named in the centers. Rob Toya, you'll see, is down in jersey 22. So potential that he comes in and ruins someone's party there makes me a little cautious, as much as particularly Billy Smith has been pretty interesting for fantasy. He may have some dicey job security, so tough one to buy into. In terms of the rest of the team for the Roosters, Nat Butcher returns from a 1-game suspension, and he is good to play. For the Storm, big interest here is you got Wishart and Tolau in the halves there. So no Cam Munster, 4 to 6 weeks. And Jerome Hughes had a few injury issues recently. Maybe he's succumbed to one of those. We'll figure out what the deal is there. And Oren Keeley, very cheap option, gets a starting edge back row spot alongside Cooper Clark, who I think could be interesting here. Oren Keeley might be a nice cash out we could look at this week as well. Now, rocking on the Raiders and the Rabbitohs here. Matt Duffy for the Rabbitohs. He's starting at the fullback spot. For the Raiders, nothing too crazy. Jed Stewart is in there. Hudson Young gets back into the starting team. But overall, these ones are pretty straightforward. And Turtles, obviously, Brandon Smith. He's still there. So let's see if he can beat 4 points this week in 67 minutes. Now, Warriors versus Dragons. And yeah, these quick blitzes are normally in the short rounds. So this is a long blitz right now. But for the Warriors, you've got DWZ and AKP. So speedsters on the edges. No chance to Clockstar in the wing spot there. Other than that, forward pack, pretty straightforward. Mitch Barnett could be a value guy we talk about. Jacob Laban is on some people's interest as well. And for the Dragons, nothing noteworthy really here to talk about. Just a bunch of guys that are producing fantasy points. I have no interest in selling Hamish Stewart, Toby Couchman, Ryan Couchman, any of these guys. Now for the Dogs and Tigers, again, pretty straightforward here. No Stephen Crichton for the Dogs. He is not, oh, there he is, jersey 23 on the extended bench. And we've also got Kickow on that extended bench too. Decent chance that Crichton doesn't play this week would be my expectation. It looked like a pretty rough injury. I think they'd be a bit silly to rush him back, whereas I think Kickout might be a shot. He was originally forecast for this round, so he could come in and take that spot from Jamin Salmon. We also see Jacob Preston in the starting spot, and Jacob Preston's going to be a really attractive option this round. And for the Tigers, again, shuffling things around in the back line, but really not too much changing. Samuel Afinu escapes injury, and Jared Hayward starting in there. We have Lanyon on the bench, so that hooker rotation continues. Titans and Seagulls, pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy for the Titans. Pascoe still in the starting spot. Verrills in jersey 18. Pascoe 80 minutes last week. And for Manly, yeah, I'm not seeing anything too interesting for Manly either. Simpkin looks like he'll continue the 80-minute role with no backup hooker there. And again, Dolphins and Cowboys. No real changes here. Bostock comes back into the centers. Cobbo comes back. The Hammer comes back as well. So if you're a Trey Fuller owner, you're paying attention to that. And for the Cowboys, nothing too noteworthy for them. So that's the quick blitz here, Turtles. We'll jump into the first game, Panthers v Broncos. And for this game here, your Broncos are coming in. A lot of pressure on them. Give me your real take here. Like, what are your expectations for this game? Do you think Brisbane will keep it competitive, or do you think it's a blowout and the season's done?
I think we'll keep it competitive. I think we'll keep this. What was our last bet? Like 1-12. I reckon Panthers will not win by more than 12.
Okay. I'll take that wager with you.
Yeah. So coming into this game, like we can no longer use the excuse that we have too many injuries. Like with most of our players coming back now, we're still missing a couple, but like Billy Walters, Corey Jensen had that lung injury or something completely non-NRL related, but we're nearly at full strength. I reckon we're probably 85% strong at the moment. So can we keep this competitive? I think we can. I think we're going to be tough in the middle. Panthers are a little bit more relaxed at the moment. They're clear top leaders on the ladder. There's no point for them to like absolutely pile the points on here. They might just do it anyways, but I think Broncos will give them a run for their money, barring injuries. So if the game starts and Ezra Mam or Reynolds goes down together in the same game in the first 10 minutes, then obviously we're going to get completely blown out. But if there's no injuries, I reckon we keep this close.
Yeah, okay. So competitive here. That's good news then, because a lot of people are going to be looking at this game and thinking, we've sort of talked about the Panthers players. Like, it's pretty straightforward here. This doesn't need much discussion. If you don't have Nathan Cleary, he is probably your number one target and your best captain for the run home. There's not too much else to say on that. He's just been an absolute stud for fantasy. If you don't have Dylan Edwards, I'm not desperate to go buy him at the price he's at. And then for the rest of the Panthers side, I'm really not chasing much here. Whereas if I jump across to the Broncos, I'm looking at a few Broncos. And this week it's Payne Haas time. It's selling Xavier Willison time. It's always Brendan Piakura time. And at the fullback spot there, Reece Walsh at 550K. This could either be a total disaster for the run home or totally electric. Talk to me about what you're thinking for Reece Walsh here, Turtles, because I want to hear a bit of bias. I want to hear that he's going to go back to that 90s form for the run home.
For him to go on the 90s form, he needs Billy Walters at hooker. He needs Reynolds to be actually out, because for him to get those 90s, he also has to goal kick. So Reynolds has to be out or at least injured enough where he's not kicking goals. Maybe because he is coming back from an injury, Reynolds. So maybe he might not kick goals. Maybe he'll just do the in-game kicking, which you kind of need him for. And then I don't know. Walshy hasn't really done too much this entire year, which is kind of scary. He even played a little bit of Origin and he tried to do something for the Queenslanders, but it just didn't really click because he wasn't really synergizing with the rest of the team at that stage. But then if you flip this back to the Broncos and you're like, well, he plays with his team week in, week out. So if he's going to synergize with anyone, it's this Broncos team more likely than the Queensland team. So there is the world where Walsh comes out and he just comes out. I don't reckon he scores 90. I reckon it's probably 70s, like a few 70s, and then everyone's going to jump on and it's going to be a little bit too late. So if you're looking for a wing fullback position, Teddy was not available last week. He's not available this week. Walsh is that next cut price keeper, because we're always looking at these wing fullbacks and we want them to be like under 600K. So when Teddy goes under 600K, Drinkwater, Walsh, you want to buy these guys at cheap prices. Similar with Turbo. No one wants to buy Turbo at 700K. You want to buy them cheap. You want good value out of them. And they always go on these runs. All the wing fullbacks, they always do this every year. So if you believe in the Broncos, Walsh is probably your guy.
Are you believing in the Broncos?
I potentially am because I really wanted
Mm.
Teddy. I really needed Teddy because I have all these wingers on my side. I don't really have any fullbacks. I have Sua, Farlongo, and that's basically it. Then I got like Isako and Jennings, and it's just it's too much of a roller coaster. I need someone who I can plug in that wing fullback spot and just happily play him and not worry about looping him, basically. So there's not many other options at wing fullback who are just that solid and that cheap. So obviously, Kalen Ponga is the go-to guy, but if you're trying to rise in the ranks, you're just breaking even if you're buying Ponga at that stage because everyone already has Ponga, and I feel like I have to go a different way. So Walsh might be my solution here.
Okay, well, look, Billy Walters is in the reserves too,
Hmm.
jersey 20. So maybe he does sneak in. Maybe it's the start of Walsh time. I don't know. I look at the same thing. I see my team, and I'm not inspired to use any trades on the back line this week, Turtles. Like, I've got Kale Ero sitting there, for example. Karaz, they're a
Hmm.
bit dodgy right now, and I'm just sort of going, I might as well just ride it out with these guys. I'm with you. Tedesco was my number one target. He's at a really good price point. Misses a couple of games here. Probably not the worst thing in the world. He's getting a bit of a rest now. So I would have liked him playing though. Like this Storm team they're up against is very soft this week. So I think there's a good chance for big attacking stacks for the Chalks. But for Reece Walsh, I can see the play there. I'm not on Reece Walsh myself. I have enough volatility in my side that I'm okay with just not making that sideways trade. But if I did have an injury to someone, I may look at moving across to Reece Walsh. So Reece Walsh, guys, you can see the appeal there. And then Payne Haas is the other one to talk about here. He's played massive minutes this year when he has played. It's interesting now because we have the full contingent. So Xavier Willison, Payne Haas, Pat Carrigan. And what Willison's shown is he's capable of much more minutes. So I don't know. I look at Ben Tolte, Preston Ricky on the bench. I don't think they're guaranteed significant minutes. We've also seen Ricky and Pierre Kura pick up a lot of injuries this year too. I think there's a decent chance that we see Payne Haas really, really good for the run home. And for mine, what is he like 750k totals? Like that's a must-have. You just jump on Payne Haas. You don't overthink it too much. He's one of the best players in fantasy. He's down about 200k. Not in the best form this year, but we know who he is, and we're just going to hope for the best, right?
Yeah, like we're at this point where, like I said at the beginning, I was like, there's all these cut price guys who, or falling guns, who you basically have to pick up because everyone's going to go out there and buy Payne Haas right now. And if you don't pick him up and he comes out and scores an 80 and you're just kicking yourself, and he'll be like 850k in no time. The same thing happened with Dylan Lucas, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said, pick him up now, otherwise it's going to be 830k and you're going to miss the boat. And you're going to get those extra trades and it's going to be too late. And that's exactly what's happened. Dylan Lucas is now literally 830k on the dot, and basically it's too late to buy him. So I don't think anyone's going out there to buy guns like that. You're going out there to buy all these cut price guys.
There's a conspiracy going on in the chat as well, and I've been flashing out messages. By the way, thank you all, you guys, for dropping messages. There's just so many turtles, so I'm popping them all up. But this conspiracy, what's up with the app encouraging all aboard the pain train? What's the conspiracy? I can reveal that money has been exchanged to encourage us content creators to encourage you to buy Payne Haas. Now, I can't tell you how much, or if there was actually any money at all. But I want to feed into this theory. What's the conspiracy with Payne Haas turtles? Why is Big Fantasy wanting the little guy to bring in Haas? Are they just wanting everyone to get a win, making sure people don't miss out, or is it bringing the fantasy advice, the fantasy HQ information to the front? What's happening?
I feel like it's just Payne Haas has been the top 3 fantasy guys for the past 5 years or something. It's like you're getting him now at 750k. It's a must-have. So they're just like everyone's gonna pick him up. It's absolute no-brainer. The only reason you didn't pick him up when he got back from his injury, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, was the fact that he played Origin and then he also had the bye. So no one picked him up then, and he's come out and scored pretty decent in 2 80-minute games back to back after injury. So any thoughts that maybe he's going to get injured again, like he just came back from an injury, like just goes completely out the window because he's come out and played huge minute games as a prop, and it's like typical of Payne Haas to do that. And then on top of that, you saw him in Origin. He was fantastic in Origin.
Yeah.
Like he like that first stint that he did, I think 25 minutes, was he absolutely destroyed like New South Wales, and that's where New South Wales basically won their game. Like the majority of your tries were in that first 25 minutes when Payne Haas was playing at an elite level. Obviously, the rest of the team was doing well as well, but that moment through Payne Haas, like leading the forward pack, is, I don't know, the unsung hero. Like I feel like forwards don't get enough praise when like
Oh
the
yeah, big
teams
time.
when all the backs are scoring and your halfback scoring 2 tries and shit. Like I feel like yeah, all the guys who get them into that position, they get zero praise, and I feel like Haas is probably the guy who deserves the most praise.
Bro, Haas is unbelievable. I'm with you there completely. We got a few messages coming through as well. Zane, Longy gave Payne too much aura when he made that video with him. I can reveal that Haas was aura farming that day. Dart Trader with the Payne train. Hip drop. Okay, let's move on. Broncos are losing again. Everyone knows that. A little update. Hopwood low grade calf strain. That's really frustrating people at Hopwood. But if it's low grade, he'll probably be back. He'll get some minutes. And then I have to address this. Jerome Luai has signed with Parramatta for next year. How do I feel about this? I mean, it's a tough one because Jerome Luai very loudly and publicly kept saying, "I'm your daddy" to Parramatta after they won that disgusting 2022 grand final. So on one hand, I don't love it. I like the rivalry with Luai. I think he's been a bit average at the Tigers, but on the other side, it's like 500K. The Tigers are paying most of that contract to get rid of him, which is a bit of an indictment on him. I look at Parramatta, and we don't really have a 5'8" for next year. We've let sort of Volkman go. We're not really running Joash there. Young Lorenzo, he's 18. He's our plan for the future. He's not going to be ready next year, is the word I've heard. So we need someone to plug that gap. Parramatta don't have many signings in the pipeline. Maybe this is just a way to play some fun footy and compete for a final spot. I do not think Parramatta are in a premiership window. But if you do throw in Jaden Sewell to that team, you have a fit Jermaine Hopgood. Kitione Kautonga was really good this year. Another year of maturity for him. I can see this squad evolving and potentially being competitive next year, but more in like the way Newcastle is, right? Like where they're probably not quite a title threat, but they're going in the right direction. The issue is we're building that and then we're breaking it down the next year after that. So I don't love the signing, but I don't hate it either. I'm a bit off Turtles, all this Parramatta signing guys for 1 year before they go to another club, and then us watching them play at another club next year.
Yeah, I think it's terrible. It's a bad habit to have because look at Luai. If he's going to what is it, PNG, basically just chasing the money at this stage. Like
Yeah.
look at his intentions. He's just trying to fill that gap. He's unhappy at the Tigers. He's like, look, I'm just going to go work somewhere else. When he's working for Parramatta and playing for them, like, do you really think that he's going to have that in his mind? I'm trying to make us win games. I'm trying to develop the players around me. I'm going to influence them. No, he's just there to get a paycheck, basically. And I hate that. I hate that he's going to basically jump from one club to another and basically have zero impact. I reckon he's going to do absolutely terrible for Parramatta, worse than what he's done for Tigers.
Wow.
He's just chasing money. It's a big call, and I feel sorry for Parramatta. I just think it's a bad decision. Why pick up players for a year? Why do this?
Yeah. I'll share a conspiracy theory with you as well, because the first thing I thought of when the Tigers were pushing him out the door is apparently he's on the payroll of third parties for PNG before he goes there. They've publicly said they're going to use him very aggressively in recruitment. If we have good young talent in our system, as if he's not going to be trying to recruit them to PNG. Like that's where he's going to be hanging out. So as if he's not going to be. So we've basically just brought in this opposition recruiter that has access to tax-free financial offers to just pluck our team of what little talent we have remaining, which I'm a bit worried about it. So I could see it going badly, but I've got to back him in. I think it will be fun, though. I will say it'll be fun to watch that Moses Luai combo.
Mm-hmm.
Like Luai has been good in the past when he's had a dominant 7 next to him, and Moses is very much that type of mold. So I could see it working out, but yeah, that's kind of my answer on it. Now, let's get ripping through fantasy because my fantasy team's so much better than Parramatta. I love having fantasy for that reason. Now, next game here, and we'll hit more questions too. We got the Sharkies and the Knights, and this one's got a few points of interest. So for Cronulla, looking at the back line, it's a pretty straightforward back line. People want to talk about Kale Iro, Nico Hines, and that's basically it there. In the forward pack, again, a very similar forward pack. The interest points are Blake Brayley and Britton Nakora. And I guess Cam McInnes as well, if you still have him as a bit of a hangover too. So for you Turtles here, I'll throw to you, Nico Hines. You don't have, I believe you don't have Hines yet.
I haven't.
Are you buying Hines? Oh, you do have him already. All right. Yeah. Okay. Do you think everyone else should chase Hines with you?
I think so. Last week, the Sharks put on 66 points against the Dolphins, and a lot of those points translated to fantasy stats for Nico Hines because he was involved in so much of that. 2 tries, a whole bunch of try assists, kicked like 11 goals or something ridiculous. Like it was huge. The fact that the Knights played the Dolphins the week before and only beat them by 1 point, it was a field goal from Dylan Brown, makes me a little bit worried about the Knights coming into this. And last week, they didn't look too shabby against the Rabbitohs either. I know it was the Rabbits were playing out of their mind because they were trying to play step up for Jairo, but
No, they were
none.
held very, very low scoring for most of that
Yeah,
game. They only made a run at the end.
yeah, but I feel like the Knights are better than that. I feel like the Knights this year have a lot more attacking prowess to them. They shouldn't be scoring less than, let's say, 30 points a game. I feel like their back line has so much weapons in it. Their forward pack is starting to dwindle like every single week. Like at least one of their forwards gets knocked down. So I think that's where they're starting to lack. Jump over back to the Sharks and you look at their forward pack and they're just constantly stacking up. Like these guys were on fire last week and nothing's really changed too much. Like their origin stars are going to have a bit more rest this time. So the Sharks are going to feast. If you buy Nico Hines this week, you're expecting to believe everything I've just said. You believe that idea that Sharks are going to come out absolutely feast here. And I feel like he's kind of a must-have because Cleary's going to get rested in the end of the season.
Mm.
A lot of people have all these kind of pseudo halves, whether it be Dylan Brown, Fletcher Sharp, Tamara Martin, Galvin.
Jaden
It's
Campbell,
like
mate.
Jaden Campbell, yeah. Like, but none of them are going to be like Nico Hines and Cleary. They're the only two who are like, yeah, these guys are going to like have the chance to score 100 on a team who's just not in that game. And there's going to be games where Cleary's not going to be in there. Like Cleary's playing the Thursday game, so like how many people are actually captaining him? Like the Thursday curse is a real thing, and like people are very scared to do it. I reckon captaincy less than 90% of people are going to be in Cleary, even though it's like Broncos on an 8-game losing streak. Like Panthers are the best team in the comp at the moment. I feel like less people are going to captain Cleary just because they're scared of this curse. So
I'll go overs then. I think most people go. I want to talk
over
about Cronulla
90%.
here too because I
Yeah.
think they're primed for a run. And for Nico Hines, there's an important stat. We talked about this leading into round 18. He scores 80 plus in 100% of the games where Cronulla put 50 points on. So Nico Hines' average when Cronulla scores 50 plus in 3 games now is about 95. So absolutely massive average when they go big. He even in that game against the Dolphins, when they're up 24-0, half an hour in, he hadn't scored many points. He's on about 15 points after 30, 35 minutes. Once the game was out of reach, he went crazy. Right? Like Nico Hines he does not understand taking it easy in the second half when you're up by a bunch. He switches on when that game is done. So I look at this run here, Turtles, and I go, all right, the Knights, yeah, pretty good matchup. Manly have been a bit dicey. Then you go to the Rabbitohs, who are a bit fragile. Dragons, fragile. Raiders, fragile. Titans, fragile. Eels, fragile. Storm, fragile. Like, this is an incredible run. No buys, amazing fixtures, a lot of games, home and away, but in matchups that I just adore for Nico Hines. So I think Cronulla in general just get this boost. And Nico Hines is definitely part of my trade plans. I look at my 4th slot in my trades right now, Turtles. It's Nico Hines or Hudson Young or Alex Twal or one of these players. Nico Hines is always a bit of a plan here for this period because of these fixtures. And all the other guys I've mentioned, they have those buys coming up. So I'm leaning towards Nico Hines right now. And I'm leaning towards keeping Kale Iro as well, even though he hasn't been good, because those fixtures are so delicious and because I think he can get hot at the right time. I also, Turtles, go, hey, Britton Nakora, 440K or whatever he is, has averaged 50 basically every year of his career. With those fixtures, coming out of Origin, feeling confident, maybe he emerges as a depth piece. Like I can see a world where he's a great trade-in for some coaches. What do you think of that?
Nikora, he always goes for these random runs where he scores like 55 average over like 5 games. And he hasn't done that this year. I feel like he's done that every single year for the past like
Big
4 years. He's always done that weird 5 or 6 game stretch where he's just gone really, really, really high and then balances out the rest of his score for the rest of the year. He hasn't done that this year. So if you're buying Nikora, you're probably expecting that to happen. expect history to repeat itself. And yeah, like coming like that run that you mentioned, I think it was like 2 of those 8 games he's versing top 8 sides. So it's like the rest are all bottom 8 sides, and half of these guys are basically done for the year. So Hines to stack on the points. He's. Do you reckon he's a must-have?
It's a hard one. I think he's very hard to bet against. Like we've
Mm,
seen that he's been really average for fantasy in weeks where they've had tough games or where they've lost, and I think they could go through and win all those games. So
yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So
I could see it being good.
if we expect him to like go through, like, they got 8 games coming up, and
Yep.
2 of them are against top 8 sides. I reckon they win at least 6 of them
Yeah, I mean,
comfortably.
the big thing I'll hit to you too is it costs you less than 100K to go, Dylan Brown, Jaden Campbell. If you want those options, maybe Tamari Martin, maybe you're moving like Trey Fuller. It costs you a couple of 100K. Like it's very affordable right now. And if you don't go Nico Hines this week, he's going to be so expensive next week, and it becomes a bit prohibitive. So I think you have to force it through this week. I'm going to say it. I think he's a must-have with these fixtures, Turtles. Like I think a lot of the forwards that we talk about, like, I could talk myself out of Twal right now just because the Tigers have been so poor recently. And I don't see him playing 70, 75 minutes when they're losing by a lot. So I think Twal is going to be good, but I think Nico Hines, current 64 average, could potentially be a 70 plus average for this run home. So that's what I'm having a look at. I think it's red hot. Kale Iro, I wouldn't buy him, but I'm going to hold him. I'm trying to buy someone to loop him with if I can with Karaz, but it's going to be tough. And Britton Nakora, I think there are certain teams, Turtles, where they're a bit low on cash and they just need depth. For those
Yeah.
teams, I like Nakora for them because, like, if he averages, let's say he does what he's done for his whole career and he averages like 52 points. If he averages 52, you're losing out a little bit. Hudson Young's more like a 60. Realistically, Lucas and Olakwatu are doing something different right now, but you're doing okay with those. So I don't mind him as a fourth piece if you have 3 great trades and you just need to make a fourth. And you need to go, I don't know, Trey Fuller to Nakora to free up a bit of cash to make it all work. I can see that appeal working, but only for a few coaches. The other guy I want to talk about here too is Blake Brayley. So Brayley comes into this week, got a bit of a rest last week, was good. Brayley versus Harry Grant's the big debate. Some coaches are looking at having both Brayley and Grant. A lot of coaches are really happy with, Simpkin as a backup, with Owen Paddy as a backup, these types of players. There's a toss-up to be had there. For my team personally, I'm not going to go 2 big hookers. I'm going to keep Simpkin as my backup. I worry about the fact that on the run home he might fall off with Wakeham coming back potentially. But yeah, Brayley, if you didn't have either Grant or Brayley, Grant has a bye remaining. Brayley doesn't. Would you go Brayley over Grant or would you go the other way?
I would go Brayley over Grant. If I don't have either or, but my current strategy is to just stick with Pascal until the wheels fall off. So I don't want to be. Everyone got their 8 trades. A lot of people are burning 4. I personally don't really want to burn a trade in hooker because this spot is so shit. Like the 2 best guys in the hooker position are Harry Grant and Brayley, and none of them are getting like 70 averages. Like they're 55s and like under 60 averages. So is it really worth a trade in that position? Whereas I could like be upgrading Corey Horsburgh to Payne Haas or someone like, I already have Hines, but you know what I mean, right? Like buying these cut price guys who are going to score you that extra 10 to 15 points on average more than that hooker position where I'm just like, yeah, Pasco does well enough. Like even if he gets 60 minutes, I still reckon he'll get like a 45. And Brayley played the whole 80 minutes last week, or most of it, I think, yeah. And they scored 66 points. He only got like a 52. So if we expect the Sharks to be piling on points, like how much damage is Brayley doing? Like Brayley scores really well when the Sharks are really competitive and he gets those high tackle numbers and then goes for those 2, maybe 3 runs throughout the game and ends up with like 80, 90 meters run, couple of tackle breaks and offload. Like that's when he scores absolutely elite. He doesn't do that when they're stomping the shit out of teams.
No, you're spot on. You're spot on. He steps up when he needs to in attack. I feel like when they're going well, like if it's easy on the edges, he just passes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see the same thing with Harry Grant too. So Harry Grant steps up when the Storm needs someone to step up. He doesn't run a lot when they're winning by a lot. Like we've seen in previous years, the last couple of years, when they've been good, he just slings the ball out. Jerome Hughes, here you go. Eli Katoa, here you go. Ryan Pappenhausen, here you go. Cam Munster, here you go. None of those guys are playing this week. So I think we're going to see big Harry Grant. So Brayley is the guy you would buy out of the two, but I don't think he's so much better that it's worth buying both of them. So I'm with you there completely. We just got some Parramatta signing news as well from Martin I7D. Apparently, Longy signed the front row with Parramatta.
Oh, huge, huge.
Mate, I will step in if they need me. Parramatta, this is the call out right now. If you need me next year, let me know. I will. Here's what I promise. Here's what I promised everyone watching. I will throw 50 offloads in a game. I will run sideways every play to make tackle breaks. I will probably miss as many tackles as Brandon Smith, if not more. But you'll see plenty of junk stats. I will be primed Terrell May, like stat padding. Without
You'll be the fourth man in the tackle, not the third, the fourth man in.
Fifth man even. Like and try savers, I'll just be lingering near. Whenever anyone gets held up, I'll jump in there and touch the ball. So you'll get a good fantasy production out of me. Now, but that's the Sharks there. I mean, the other one to mention, like Adam Fanua-Blake, he'll get cheap as well. You know, maybe we talk about him. If you have Cam McInnes, he's an easy sell, so move off him. Now, for Newcastle, we've talked about Newcastle so much this year, Turtles. I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but I've got a few theories about Newcastle right now. So at the start of the year, what we saw was there was this free-flowing style of play. We saw a lot of ball going to Fletcher Sharp, particularly in Vegas. We saw Kalen Ponga absolutely dominating and really a free-flowing style where they were just slinging to the edges constantly. You know, that game where there was 12 line breaks between Marzu and Dom Young, all of that. The NRL's made some changes. So they've reduced the number of set restarts by about 35% since round 13. Since then, what I've noticed is we've seen a bit more Dylan Brown involvement. And as a Parramatta fan, I'm pretty familiar with Dylan Brown's game. When there's a game where you have good field position, where you're trying to generate momentum, where you're trying to like really be competitive in a closer game, you see more of that Dylan Brown running game come out. Whereas if it's free flowing, if it's easy on the edges, he sort of just facilitates a bit more. So what I've noticed is because it's getting a bit grindier, because Newcastle are in tougher, tighter games a lot of the time, we're seeing that Dylan Brown base just going crazy. And last week we saw 72 points with only a try assist. Other than that, it was all base stats. I'm just looking at this and thinking, maybe I got this wrong. Like I was planning to sell Dylan Brown at this point. I've now backflipped on that. I'm keeping Dylan Brown until he shows that he doesn't have it. Like I think 4 of his last 5 games, he's gone 60 plus. So am I crazy or are you feeling the same way about Dylan?
I'm a little bit like sad about this because there was a point to start the year. I remember this whole Dylan Brown thing. I was like, no, I'm not picking him up. Everyone picked him up. You had that bet going, and it was like great entertainment trying to see if he'll do well or not. And then he had that injury, came back and kind of killed it after that injury. So when he came back from that injury, I needed a half, and I ended up buying Fletcher Sharp instead of Dylan Brown. And they weren't too far apart in price, I just thought Fletcher Sharp, maybe he'll get full back and then do really well during the Origin period. Did well for me this past few months, but like Dylan Brown has done that much better. It's kind of it's making me sad about it. But moving forward, Dylan Brown is a hold probably just because you're not trading someone who's killing it at the moment. Like I'm not going out and trading Dylan Lucas. Like Dylan Brown's doing everything that he can with very minimal attacking stats. So similar to Pasco, I reckon you keep this till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I look at my team and I've got Joey Tarpanay sitting there. And originally I was planning to hold him, keep a bit of forward depth, but why would I sell Dylan Brown and keep Joey Tarpanay when Tarpanay hasn't shown the upside of Brown? Tarpanay has shown the downside, worse than Brown's too. So I'm just moving that way instead. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. So that's my plan right now. Obviously, Trey Fuller's going as well, and I've got a bit of a combination. In fact, I'll tell you exactly who.
Tell me the 4 trades that you have locked in.
Well, they're not quite locked in. But sorry. So it's actually really changed a lot. I've got Suo Wong trading him out because he has been disgusting since I bought him. 3 back-to-back, like 40 scores. Trey Fuller's got to go. Obviously awesome, but he's run his race. Joey Tarpanay going for me. And the last one I'm iffy about is Tamari Martin. Now, for squad balance, I have to move one of Tamari Martin, Dylan Brown, or Jaden Campbell, right? And I understand Jaden Campbell's been a bit dodgy. You know, he hasn't been the best, but I just think Jaden Campbell in this run home, like even while playing dodgy footy, he's averaging 60. Whereas Tamari Martin, I feel like he's had a few lucky moments. And he's a great player. He's up against the Dragons this week, so I'm really nervous about selling him this round. But that's my toss-up right now.
I don't think you can sell Tamara Martin against the Dragons. The next 3 games is Dragons, Bulldogs, Titans. Like all bottom 8 teams, very comfortable. I know they're good matchups. They're great matchups. Obviously, after that it becomes a little bit harder. You get Panthers and stuff. So maybe you trade Tamara Martin in round 22 when he's probably close to the 700k. Then, but you need to make
Got
the
to sell
trade now.
someone
So
though, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm
you
not
need to
going to
make the
sell
trade now.
Kraz. I guess I could sell Eero and just start Kraz outright.
The
I'm
thing
not going to
about
sell
Euro
Kemp's
was
good.
he score 2 tries and
2
still
tries and a
scored really
42.
bad. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
so shocking.
But those fixtures, man, like I think like at the price he's at, I think he's worth something in that center spot, especially when we can loophole. So that's my
Yeah.
toss up this week. And maybe I just don't make the 4th trade, but I want to bring in Haas. I really like the idea of Preston right now, and I'll probably do a cash out too. So that's the decision I have to make this week. But in terms of Newcastle here, a lot of people are asking, Kellen Ponga, do you bring him in? I think this one's pretty straightforward. Like he's been really good this year. He's had a few lower scores through the origin period, but his low scores are like 40, and his high scores are 80 plus. Like last week, we saw a 65, couple of tries in that game, but yeah, I just like Ponga too much. The concern with Newcastle, though, is you've got Dylan Brown, you've got Kalen Ponga, you've got Dylan Lucas, maybe you have Hopwood, you might have some other guys here too. Some people have Phoenix Crossland. I feel for them. Fletcher Sharp, he'll get that wing fullback dual position, so you probably want to hold him for that. They have that buy in round 27. It's going to be a total disaster because Nathan Cleary is not playing that week. Like there'll be all these restings around 27. You're going to be stuffed around 27. Your rank is going to go down the toilet that week. But I feel like by then a lot of coaches are just kind of like, oh yeah, so be it. Let's play for now. Let's have some fun. But I just want to make everyone aware of it. So Ponga, pretty easy pickup this week. Dylan Lucas, you were talking about him being red hot. I believe it's a 77 average over the last 3 games and 75 over 5 games. Is there any hole we can poke in this? Because like, he's flawless.
Like, I remember watching the game and I was like, oh man, like he had all these missed tackles. I was like, oh, his score's gonna be so shit. And then I checked the app and I'm like, wait a second, he's also done so much more as well. Like last 2 games, he had 5 missed tackles. Last one before that, 4 missed tackles. There's negatives there, but he's just doing so much on the field that it just doesn't matter how many missed tackles he's making. Because I was like, usually when you see your guy making 5 or 4 missed tackles, you're like, yeah, he might have a stink of a score. He's doing massive tackle numbers. His base is so high. I said on the show last week that I was captaining Dylan Lucas and I backed him. So I ended up captaining him. I scored really, really well last week as well. Like huge score, rose up the ranks.
800 and what was it? 815? Something like that.
It was 830. 830? Yeah, 830. So captaining Dylan Lucas, I had Hines, I had Jack Williams as well, which is crazy as well. But Dylan Lucas, like when I was captaining him last week, I said on the show, like publicly, I said his base is so high that you can't go wrong with captaining him. And then when Terrell May came out and scored a 60, I'm like, I feel like Lucas is going to beat this. He didn't beat it by like crazy too much, like decent amount, but like it's still good. Moving forward, can you captain him again when Cleary is available? That's going to be the iffy one. But I think it's too late for Lucas. Like everyone's got their 4 trades right now. Are you going out to buy Lucas? Like I think it's too late. 830k, it's too much.
I don't think it's about price. I think it's about price. Like, I think if you think he's going to go on a hot run here, then you pay the price and you just roll with it. Like, because you can get Hudson Young cheaper for 700k, but he's not been in great form. Olaquatu's the same price too. Like, I look at Lucas and I was trying to poke a hole in this. So I looked at last year's numbers. He averaged, I believe it was 60 or 59.5 last year in a Knights team that was the worst in the league in attack. So that Knights team last year was shocking, and they've been a great attacking team this year. He averaged nearly 60 in that team last year. But it's not unsustainable what he's doing. Even that game last week, he had the try assist, but like you said, it was base stats. There weren't tries involved. There will be days where he's a bit quieter, but I can just see Lucas being an absolute worker. And the fact that Jacob Safidi's out now as well, Hopwood's out too, like they're 2 yardage guys. They're going to go to Lucas more for those hit-ups. And we're going to see more of that base in terms of the running game. They're going to swing it wide. They're going to go to Lucas. They're going to go to Braden Best is back on that edge as well. There's going to be some easy tries there. It's not the best matchup here, Cronulla, but it's not the worst matchup either. Like Cronulla's edges aren't flawless by any means. So Yeah, I think Lucas is a banger of an option. We have some questions coming through here too. This one's funny. Sharpie, you convinced me to do 4 trades. I apologize. In like a month, you'll really hate me for this, but for now, it's going to be really fun. And then Ulu here, between the two edges, Ola Kawatu or Lucas. We can both give our answer here. I bought Lucas last week. I'm pretty firmly on the Lucas side of this equation. And the reason for that is I think Dylan Lucas can play a pretty average game of footy and produce 70 plus points. Whereas Ola Kawatu, to produce 70 plus points or 70 last week, he's got to score a try. He's got to be absolutely dominating with the ball in hand. He has to be so damaging. And I saw him last week. Both of them had some injury concerns. Ola Kawatu took a little bit of a fall going for the ball, and you saw him hold that shoulder, that same shoulder that ended his season early last year. I don't know. I worried a little bit then. It sort of burned into me. So I personally think Lucas scores fantasy points a bit easier. Olakwatu is in just unbelievable real world form, but I would rather the easy fantasy points.
I think Lucas all the way here. Like Olakawatu, basically you're relying on him to do his high tackle break numbers and also scoring those tries because those tries really elevates his score. Last week he scored a try. He still only got 62. There was actually a down date. So I think he ended up on 70 and then ended up just before the lockout at 62.
Ooh, okay.
And 62 with a line break and a try, that's 12 points. Maybe a tackle break as well, 14. It's like that score is pretty gross. Then you look at his yearly stats. Out of all his games, he's only scored 7 tries. 3 of those tries came from the last 2 games. So you take away the last 2 games, he's only scored 4 tries the rest of the year. So is he going to continue scoring every single game from here on out? Because there's only a limited amount of games left. There's like 8 games left. You're expecting Ola Kawatu to score a try in every single game, even though he's only scored 7 for the whole year. And it's kind of scary because they're similar price. Just go for the guy who's more stable, right? So Lucas
Better
should be a
defensive
no-brainer.
work rate too, man. Like the defensive work rate, that's the big one. Because like what you were saying before about the tries, that's big. The other way he was scoring was he was running 260 meters a game. And he had this run where he was going 260 meters, 9 tackle breaks every week. That hasn't happened for anyone in any consistent like form ever. And Manly are in a situation right now where they've lost a few games in a row. They got belted by Parramatta. Just want to rub that in. And then they lost to the Cowboys as well. They might be changing their ways. They might be going, hey, let's readjust here. Let's change what we're doing. Let's use our backs a bit more. Let's feed Ruben Garrick a bit more, who's been frosted out. Let's feed Tolly Kohler a bit more, who's been frosted out. Let's go that way instead. Let's be more Turbo-centric. Turbo was good last week in the first half. Like they might move in that direction. So yeah, I think Lucas is a pretty easy shout here. If you need to save money, Hudson Young is steady as well. That score last week really kind of turned me off him, even though it doesn't change anything. I think the week after this week, Hudson Young at like 650K is going to be really tempting. And obviously Jacob Preston's 556K right now. So if you want the value, that's the angle you take. So hopefully that was helpful. Military Medium's asked as well. And someone else asked too, so I'll just address both in one. Is Ryan Couchman to Toby Couchman worth considering? And another question was Ryan Couchman to Kalen Ponga. Is that worth considering? My view on this, and I saw you shake your head too, Turtles, stick with Ryan Couchman. Stick with him. He's shown the ability to be a 60-plus average type of player. Had a bit of a down run in form. I'm not too worried about him. Like if he comes out this week and he scores another 40 and the minutes aren't good, I'll think about it next week. But the potential for him just to be a dual position, super reliable, 60-point average for the run home, you might as well give it a chance. Like I call it sticky fingers. Like you want to hold on to the guys that you have just a little bit longer, give them that extra chance, see how they go, and then you can make the call later.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like when we're looking at trading out players who have done really well, like let's say your Tarpanay, your Horsbras, your Willison, things have changed, which is why you want to trade them out, or like they're no longer relevant because we don't need them for the buy rounds. Nothing has changed for Ryan Couchman. Like he might have scored low the last game, but moving forward, they're up against the Warriors this week, who are like the highest completion team in the NRL at the moment. The Dragons play very simple footy, very basic, run their forwards. It's a very grindy fest kind of style. This game has so much points on offer. You want to have basically the Warriors and the Dragons forwards in this game because I reckon everyone in that forward pack is going to be 50 plus minimum.
Yep, I'm with you. I think give it a chance. We do have a few people. Kate mentioned the The scores dropping with minutes. A few people said, here we go, Newt NATO. Yeah, no, I'm doing Rauchman to Tauchman. I don't think it's worth it. Toby's been in really good form recently. I think Toby's the better scorer of the two, on recent form at least. I wouldn't make that trade. I just think it's not worth it. Like, you look at what trades are worth, and if you have at the back end of the year injuries, they're going to be worth 50, 100, 200 points. Whereas that is going to be maybe 5 points a week, if that. So I wouldn't jump on. Lucky Football, how long is Hopwood out? It looks like a minor calf issue, so I would guess like 1 to 2 weeks would probably be the expectation. Is Herbie a sell? Wow. I'm going to say no to that, but we'll talk about him more when we get to the Dolphins because it's not been good recently. Now, let's jump into the Roosters and the Storm here. And for the Roosters, no Tedesco this week. He comes back next week. I think Tedesco is an incredibly viable buy for next week. So if you're looking at the wing fullback spot and you can afford to wait 1 more week, Teddy's price is delightful. He's a banging option next round. So Chooks here, we got Cody Ramsey at the fullback spot, only 1 week rental. Dan Tupou, Billy Smith, Hugo Savala, Noini Dewase in the back line. We have Rob Toyer in jersey 22. He will at some point come back in. I would say Tupou and Noini Dewase are both very firm in their spots. It's probably one of Smith or Savala that gets nudged out. Savala's been the guy all year, but I think Smith's been in really good form recently. I couldn't tell you who it's going to be out of those two. So I basically just wouldn't invest in that back line too much right now. Trey Evans, Sam Walker. I've been getting questions about Sam Walker. I just don't think he's at that keeper level compared to the other guys we're talking about here. In the forward pack, Nafahu White's been playing great footy in real life. It's not really translating for fantasy. Robson has the rotation with Watson. Lenu is at a cheap price, but his minutes they're up and down, and he's leaving the club maybe at the end of the year. Nat Butcher, he is value, but there are so many great edges to talk about right now. And if you want value, you're going to go Jacob Preston or Finafuiaki, one of these options instead. So I don't like Butcher. Saw Wong, it's not a bad matchup for Saw Wong. He could potentially maybe even score a try this week. Some reshuffling. Like, they've got a new edge back rower in Keeley, a new pair of halves in Wishart and Tolau. Very fragile edges. So Saw Wong could be one that you hold on to if you are more patient than I am. And then Victor Radley at the lock spot. Overall, Turtles, I've got no interest in anyone except Tedesco on this team.
Yeah, I think we said this very, very early on in this year. Unless there's huge injuries to the Roosters, their forward pack is just too congested. There's too many minutes that get shared between the whole forward pack. Last year, Wong and White were basically staples for most people's teams. But I don't know what's really changed too much. Maybe it's the new game style or the new rules. But then, like you said, the 6 against have been less lately as well. I think it's the rotations as well. And the fact that they have a 6-man bench, so they don't have to use their forward rotation as, sparingly as before. So it's this whole forward pack, despite having so many good players, has been so relevant this year. I don't look at anyone's team and see anyone have any of these players except for yours with Sua Wong. Have you seen anyone's team in a team review where they have either White or Robson or Linu or Watson, Fiketti? I saw some people pick up Fiketti last week, but besides that, no one here has been really that relevant. And then you go to their back line, it's basically Teddy, and that's it. The only other one I'd maybe take a swing on would be Marky Mark for the run homes because he's so good. But I already have all these crazy roller coaster wingers. I can't afford to have another one. But if you have a team where you have no roller coaster wingers, it's Marky Mark or Tom Jenkins for the run home, I'll probably take Marky Mark just because Jenkins will get rested in the last round. So you could go that crazy high swing for the fences winger, but you need a looper for that to happen every week. So yeah, Roosters, not really relevant.
He's a mad dog pod. I remember putting out that we were probably going to look at him buying him the week before he got selected for Origin. So it's just been this curse. The week before each Origin, I bought Kohler and he got selected. And then I put out Noani Dawase's name and then he got selected. And then we all got Bostock and then he got selected. They just threw these random wingers out that we were going to hurt us in fantasy. But yeah, he could be a pod you look at. Otherwise, Roosters, not a lot of interest here. And then for the Storm, a lot of people are asking. I won't find the messages, but a lot of people are asking about Wishart right now. What's the go with Wishart? Do you go for Wishart here? Because in the Storm side, you've got no Jerome Hughes. I don't know how long term it is. I think it's minor.
Yeah, I think it was.
Let's see, Cam Munster. So Munster's 4 to 6 weeks. They don't mention why Hughes is out. They never have any inside information on that little blurb.
I think Hughes is hamstring tightness or soreness,
Okay.
and it's the same lingering thing for the past few weeks.
Yeah. So I think that plays into Wishart's hands. So let me share the case. And I wrote an article about this on footycasual.com. If you go there, guys, the news section, we're writing
Mm.
more articles. And Turtles, by the way, you can start writing if you want to as well. But I thought you're better at talking. But
Mm.
for Tyron Wishart here, I look at this and I go, all right, you've got this 8-week run to the end of the year. You have Cam Munster out for 4 to 6 weeks. In the 5th week of that run, they have a bye. So that's round 24. So let's say that Wishart's guaranteed 4 weeks. So that's this week, round 20, up to round 23, he will play 100%. Round 24, they have a bye. If you're a Grant and Fayalongo owner, you have 3 guys on a bye that week. That's a bit tricky.
Mm.
And then round 25 onwards, so 25, 26, 27, theoretically, Munster is back either 25 or 26. The Storm are 2 wins out of the 8. They're chasing the Dolphins, who have been really bad, the Cowboys, who have been a bit inconsistent, and the Seagulls, who have been falling as well. So 2 wins out of the 8. There is potential that they could make a push there. Now, if they're in that finals race, then they're going to play Hughes and Munster for that last 2 to 3 weeks. Right? They're definitely going to do that. If they fall out of that finals race, which I look at this team and I think they're going to get absolutely belted by the Roosters, and I think they might fall out of the finals race. Why would they rush Munster back? Like, he's an older guy. He doesn't have anything to prove. Just give Wishart a run here. But then they might also go, hey, Wishart's leaving at the end of the year. Let's give our real backup a go. And Trent Tolau, they give him the minutes instead of Wishart just to develop for next year. So there are a bunch of different ways this can go. But the reason I'm talking about this is because if you have Wishart, you want Wishart for round 25 to round 27 because your team is going to be stuffed those weeks. There's so many buys, so many restings. It's so tough. So if you're cashing out to a guy that's not base price, you want him available those weeks. I view Wishart as like a 50-50 to be available those rounds. I have a feeling, like my suspicion, Turtles, is that Wishart will play those final rounds. I just think it's going to break in the right direction. I think he is going to. I think the fact that Hughes has that lingering hamstring, that Munster has, a knee surgery 4 to 6 weeks, that the Storm are falling apart, I can see him getting the spot. Now, the concern there is he's an attacking stat player. So if he does get the spot because they've fallen apart, he probably hasn't scored that well, right? So then you're looking at him and going, oh, a lot of his big scores are when they were a really good team, but he can score some points in a weaker side as well. So that's the toss up there with Tyron Wishart. He's a 48 average when he starts in the halves. That's across a very big sample size. Very attacking stat, very much a running game type of guy. Last week we saw about 170 meters. I think it was 2 line breaks, about 62 points. So I like him as a cash out, Turtles. I don't think you should rip your team apart to get to Wishart, but I think if it suits your team, it suits your play to make a cash out to a guy at 300K, I'm into it.
I think if you don't have Grant, because everyone has full longer, right? If you don't have Grant, to say you're a Brayley owner or you're like me with Pasco, then I think you can go and get someone like Wishart. If you have Grant, because you said that buy coming up, it's like having 3 Storm players is just too much. So, or like, so I still see people with Stefano as well. So like
They'd be
you
selling him
can't,
this week, man. Like
yeah.
it's like 50K to go him to Payne Haas. It's crazy.
Basically what I'm saying is you can't have 3 Storm players. You can't have 3 players of anyone if they have a bye coming up, basically, of any team. So I remember like towards the end of the bye rounds, I had like 4 Dolphins, and then Bostock got picked. Izzy Katoa went down, so that solved my problem with having too many Dolphins. Moving
Well,
forward, if you
Herbie's
have
trying to get himself sold too.
he's
With his
trying.
form.
He's trying. They're all working really hard to get kicked out of the team. But basically, if you have 3 of any player who has a bye coming up, you have to trade at least one of them before that bye or during that bye. So same thing with buying players, because you're not selling Grant, you're not selling for Longo. You probably can't go out and buy Wishart. You're probably cashing out somewhere else. And I feel like a lot of teams have Grant and Longo. So that basically highlights all them players. For the people who don't have him, I think Wishart is a huge buy. Like this is like a gift basically. And even if Munster comes back and plays round 26 or 25, or they have the bye 25, right? They play 26. I reckon Wishart will play round 27 because Storm always rest all their players. Even if they're out of the top 8, there should be no reason for them to play that game. So they just like throw in the reserve grade side. The last thing you want to do in your last week is play your stars and then give them like a season-ending injury. Like, what's the point of playing Jerome Hughes and Cam Munster and then potentially getting like an ACL and they're screwed for the next preseason and then half your next season? It's not worth the risk. If you're out of the game, just you're out. And
Hmm.
I don't know. Is it Craig Bellamy's last year? Has he said he's going to retire? Because didn't he have like a medical issue? I
Nothing's
don't know if he's.
been
I
confirmed.
don't think
I
he's
reckon he goes
retiring.
around next year.
I reckon he'll play again. So moving forward, he's probably thinking maybe I'm going to look to the future. If we can't make it, if it's mathematically impossible for the Storm to make it, he's going to start resting players. So Wishart is a gift for the people who don't
Yeah.
have that many Storm.
I agree with what you're saying too. Like if you bring him as a third Storm player, it is a bit risky. For my side, for squad balance, I would rather bring in a back who doesn't have buys coming up. Like, I'm not saying Makasini, but that type of mold of cash out is more appealing for my side. Or if we had confirmation that Dane Jennings was going to get his spot back after a week, which we don't have, but if we had that, I might consider going the Dane Jennings route instead. I might still go Dane Jennings, to be honest. Like I think that South Sydney will have some injuries down the stretch, and he'll work his way back in. So there's other players who made Wishart. You don't have to get him, guys, but if it suits your team, do it. Don't get FOMO though. Like back end of the season, it's not about that FOMO game. You just can't bring everyone in. Owen Paddy, I love Owen Paddy. I can't get Owen Paddy in my team. I have Simpkin already. It's not worth very much money. It's like an 80k downgrade. So I'm not going to get Owen Paddy, even though I love the way he plays. So yeah, you just can't get FOMO, but if it suits your team, take a run at it. For the rest of this team, it's pretty straightforward. Suafei Longo, if you don't have him, you could bring him in. Like he's pumping numbers this year. He's absolutely killing it. The back line is pretty useless for fantasy. Forward pack, if you have a Tokamanu, I am giving you the green light to sell him finally. I don't know what you're still doing with the Tokamanu, but hey, he's been pretty good recently. Harry Grant, if you want to target a hooker, I would probably go Brayley over Grant, even though I really back Grant to step up on this run home. But Brayley doesn't have any buys. That's the big thing. That's the big difference there. If you want to cash out, Oren Keeley, actually not that disinteresting. He was 350k last week. He played a few minutes. My guess is he's still around 350k. So if you wanted to cash out in the forward pack, he's shown a bit of ability to score. No Lasardi there. This bench, McDonald's not a great edge back row, but he has scored a try last week. Maybe he takes some minutes. Overall, it could be a good week for Keeley. So pretty straightforward for the rest of that Storm side. Now, rip it into the Raiders and the Rabbitohs. This one, Raiders aren't that interesting. Turtles, like Raiders backline, big cross through it. Like Simi Sasangi's a machine, but last week he had no tackle breaks, no offloads from memory. He hasn't been the same guy. That shoulder issue, I think, has really held him back. So we're not going to really talk about Sasangi. I don't think he's worth chasing unless you really want a pod, but he's just not in that sort of form that he was at the start of the year. In the forward pack, probably a question of do I hold Horsburgh? Do I hold Joey Tarpanay? Do I hold Zach Hosking? Like these are the big questions that are coming up. The answer is like for Horsburgh, yeah. For Tarpanay, yeah, if you want to. For Hosking, I mean, you give him another week, he's making money. But if your trades, if you need someone to sell and you can get to Payne Haas or one of these types of options, sell them. Cut them loose. Give them the flick. The Raiders have around 26 buy. They're actually a big negative in your roster. If you have a couple of Raiders players and they're not that good, you're copping around 26 buy for a player who's not that good. Like, I'm pretty happy to flick all of these guys. Whereas Hudson Young is on the other side of that. And I think you'd agree with me on this. 700K, produced a very low score last week. Give him this week, see how he goes, and maybe have a look at him in the 600s.
Yeah, I think in the next couple of weeks, I feel like next week is a better trading week than this week. Obviously, everyone's mass trading this week because we get to give them the 8 trades. But next week, you have Teddy, you have Hudson Young under 700K. Like, there's a lot of value to happen next week as well. And all the people who are burning 4 trades this week, none of those people are going to be burning those extra 2 or 3 trades next week. So you're going to have all these like Hudson Youngs and Teddies versus the people who jumped on, let's say, Preston and Payne Haas this week. Like I could probably do 2 trades and get those 2 guys, and then I don't have to worry about too much else. But like, if you're burning 4 trades this week, are you going out to buy Teddy next week?
I mean, I'm anticipating that I'll have a problem to solve. So my guess is that I don't know. I'll have some issue to solve. Like I have 150k in the bank after those trades, so maybe I could move. I don't know if Joey Walsh disappears, I could move him to Tedesco, or if Simpkin, or if Turbo gets hurt, or whatever it is. Tedesco is basically my outlet valve, and my squad needs an additional outside back. I think for depth. So I'm okay with the fact that that's my whatever happens, someone will get hurt. Tedesco
Yeah.
is the plan for that. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I've kind of planned it like that, but I have cash in the bank to do it.
Yeah. Just a quick run through for the Raiders. Yeah, like Owen Paddy, if you picked him up, that's great. I don't want to be spending trades for hookers at the moment. Horsburgh Tapner, you can hold them as depth pieces. Like they're still going to score 40 plus every week, but you feel free to move them on. Hosking, huge score last week, and I don't see Smithies on the bench. So even with Josh Papali'i coming back, it's not like Horsburgh's playing lock anymore. So Hosking is an absolute machine when he gets the minutes. So you're definitely holding him again this week because the same conditions apply. And then moving to the back line, you shouldn't really have anyone in this back line, basically.
Question for you here,
Like,
Turtles. Kate asked,
yeah,
sell Hosking to Haas?
I'll find another way. Hold
Sure.
Hosking that week.
I'm okay with selling Hosking. I don't think
Mm.
he's a full blown keeper. Like the fact that last week we had Hudson Young play less minutes. Hosking played 66 minutes, which is pretty good, but 3 tries, man.
Mm.
Like 3 tries. Come on. that's
Free tries.
that's bonkers. He's a try scorer. I'm okay with selling him, but yeah, he's not the first guy you would sell. Like of the group we talked about, he'd be the last one we'd sell.
Mm.
And then, oh, here we go. Psycho, we got Hudson ain't dropping below 700K. He's smashing his break even. High 90 incoming. Bit of optimism there.
Nice.
And then Todd, you buggers made Young sound so good last week until he got moved to the bench, man. You got to adjust.
Yeah.
I was originally on Preston, and I swapped to Lucas once I saw that bench move. So you want to try and keep your trades flexible, especially following
Yeah.
Origin. I still think
I
Young will be good to run home, but
Yeah, I still think like I put Young above Olaquatu at the moment. Like I think
ooh,
Lucas is above both of them, but I think Young. If I was going out to buy another specialist edge, which I don't need at all, but if I was, then it's probably Young. I just think that because he has that super high break even, I'm happy to wait a week. So the idea is reason why I'm waiting a week is that huge break even. If he comes out and scores a 40 or a 50 or whatever, then it might make me not have to burn an extra trade to do that cash out. So a lot of people are burning a trade to get a cash out to make money to buy all these guys. If you can avoid burning a trade, then yeah, I'll do that if I just have to wait one more week. I still think Hudson Young is an amazing fantasy player. Like I think he's going to
yeah.
do great for the run home.
Well, back-to-back 60 season averages, right? Like, and
Mm-hmm.
that's across 4 games. And for anyone, by the way, asking, because there might be some people curious, why do we have Olakawatu a tier below? He was a 50 average last year, and he's been a 50 average for quite a while. So this year he's above his norm, whereas Lucas was a 60-ish average last year when he played 4 games. Hudson Young has been a 60-ish average for a few years now. So that's kind of why we have those guys a tier above Olakawatu. I think Olakawatu has to just play such good footy. And if Olakawatu has a form slump, he will average 40 for a couple of weeks. Like, whereas Hudson Young, Lucas, it's weird to say after the week that Hudson Young scored 17, but they're a bit more matchup proof, a bit more form proof when they're playing the full games. Now let's jump south here. So Bronx Nation, is Matt Duffy a buy? First question there off the ranks. He will talk about him at the fullback spot. Alex Johnson comes back. Tallis Duncan stays at center. There is no doubt in my mind. People have asked, by the way, when does he get dual position? It's round 21. So next week, Teamless Tuesday, while we are on this stream, dual positions will come out next week. So Tallis Duncan will get that for sure. We'll talk about, White and Campbell. Cody Walker comes back. Ashton Ward. Brandon Smith, do you bring him in for, his big 4-point game this week? Keon Kolomatangi, 3 back-to-back 60-plus scores. Ewan Aitken, that shortness of breath, he went off last week. He's named to start again this week. Dave Fafita is a pod. Cam Murray moved to the edge, and he was a disaster last round. Heaps to talk about here for South Sydney. Talk Dufty first. I have no idea why Jai Gray is not starting. Maybe Dufty's the better player. Like, if you just watch this year's footy, Gray's been good, but Dufty has been lights out. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's been the better fullback by far. South Sydney are probably just playing their best fullback, and they're missing Latrell right now, so they have a bit of a hole in their attack. They obviously think that Dufty is plugging that hole. So I could see Dufty maybe keeping that spot for the rest of the year. The cool thing about him is he's priced in the 400s. So if you're desperate for a wing fullback, I can see the appeal of it. Turtles, this one's a really hard one. What does your gut say? But do you think Dufty keeps a spot for the run home and gets the job done, or is this temporary?
It's hard for me to judge this because I saw last week, and the Jennings went down, and just Jai Gray just comes on off the bench and then fills in that wing spot and did not look injured at all. So it's
Yeah.
like Duffy's basically won that spot, which is very hard to say because they both play very similar styles. They're both similar body builds. Like they both get involved. They're good support runners. But like you said, I think Dufty's probably outshined Gray this year. If you're looking at
Mm.
this year only, then yeah, Dufty's done better. The Rabbits need to win games to stay in the top eight. And I don't know, Wayne Bennett's kind of a genius. So maybe he has won this spot. Maybe he is just in there. And Jai Gray can play multiple positions. Like he just puts his body on the line wherever. So it's I feel like Dufty can only play fullback. So
Right.
maybe he does keep
430K
it.
too. Like
It's
let me hit
kind
you
of
with some
juicy.
scores. Let me hit you
Yeah.
with some scores here. So you've got starting games. He started and played full games 5 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
60, 66, 40, 61, 58. So 4 of 5 scores have been 58 or more. Monstrous. Like if you look at only
Mm.
his starting games, he is one of the highest average wing fullbacks in fantasy. Across that time, he's got 2 tries in that 5 games, which is very sustainable. He's got 5 tries for assists in 5 games, which I think is sustainable too. About 5 line breaks, which is a little high. And the tackle breaks have been, a bit hit and miss. The thing that's a bit out there is he's had 3 games where he's gone 300 meters plus on the ground, which is a
Yeah.
bit. It's a bit Trey Fuller the way he plays, right? Undersized guy, but just dominating in this new rule set. I could see him being an absolute beast. Like this is the ultimate high risk, high reward option. I like this better than like people are talking about buying Joey Walsh right now. I think if you're going to take a shot at a guy, you go for a guy who could genuinely be the best in his position if things work. And then you look at these fixtures here, 2 turtles, no buys left. Like Raiders this week is good. Storm, Sharks, Eels, Bulldogs, Warriors, Titans, Roosters. Bit of a mixed bag, but no buys left. It's
Mm.
high risk, but it's high reward. Oh, if I needed to start a wing fullback this week, I'd think about it, man. Like I think this could be when you were talking about high volatility, Jenkins, Nwani Dewase, these guys. Maybe Dufty is the one, and Canberra's defense, not great, not great. This could, I mean, it's gonna get way too expensive very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say for Bronx Nation 467, I'm gonna say it's a yes if you have the guts to really put it on the line and take a shot at a big upside play.
I'll say yes if you have 10 or more trades. So if you went, if you like, because we just got given 8, I know a lot of people were actually gatekeeping a lot of their trades. There's a decent amount of people who had 1 or 2 trades come into this week at the end of it. So if you're one of those people and you have 10 total, including the 8, then go for it because you have the flexibility to take these gambles. If you only
What
have
about
the 8,
9?
I feel like, because
I've
you got
got
to trade
9.
him in, trade him out. So I
Probably
feel like
do.
10's good.
Probably do.
10's good. 10's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't play anywhere else either. And Gray's not really a winger. So yeah,
Mm.
it's tough. It's tough. Let's keep ripping through the south side here. Talis Duncan's super straightforward. If he goes back into the edge back row spot, which he will when Latrell comes back, he is interesting. At the
Mm-hmm.
center spot, he's a bit attacking stat reliant, which I don't love. The argument against Talis Duncan is that he'll go back into the back row, and Alex Johnson is 30 plus and has had recent soft tissue injuries. Latrell Mitchell spends a lot of time on the sideline. Jack Whiten has been injured multiple times this year. Campbell Graham has picked up like 4 separate soft tissue injuries this year. So, what are the odds that they all stay fit for the run home? If it's one of the centers, then it's probably going to be Talis Duncan that goes back there, unless they like what they saw enough from Dane Jennings that he is the backup and maybe he's just a guy who plugs in on the wing and Campbell Graham goes to center to cover. That might happen too. But basically, the depth chart at South Sydney is too dicey. So I'm probably going to miss out on Talis Duncan Turtles. Like I like him a lot.
Mm.
He's nearly 700K. He's not particularly cheap. I'd love to have him over Kaeliro. I don't love him enough to buy him at center.
I love Talis Duncan if something happened to Herbie or Kiraz. He's the next center up, basically. So I believe he's going to get that dual position. And yeah, I'm not buying him unless because we both have Kiraz, we both have Herbie, and it's like you're not
And
wasting
Kaeliro, 3
trades.
guns. So
You have 3 absolute. Oh, my KO Hero is a lot better. His name's Shibasaki. So I'm not spending any more trades on center. Center and hooker are both really shit positions. I refuse to spend any more trades there unless someone gets injured. That is my stance.
Yep. Fair shout. I'm with you. Tals Duncan, it's a high upside play you can take if you want to, guys, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm not buying Duncan right now. Rest of the South Sydney side, we're not chasing this forward pack. If you have Brandon Smith, it's going to be annoying, but you need to keep him in your team as he drops down to 230K. He's just not worth cashing out. So your best bet is that maybe he gets a rest at some point. You can use him as a loophole type of guy. Keon Kolomatangi, 3 back-to-back games where he's gone 60 plus. His last 3 game average is like 70 points. He is on fire. We did a power rankings thing. He was like 3rd in the power rankings, which is just absurd. Another blonde beard bet, successful, by the way. Everyone laughed when I said he'd average 50 plus, and look at him now. So for Keon Kolomatangi, I just look, is he a good buy is the question. If I didn't have Kolomatangi, I wouldn't chase. I can't explain why. I just would be too proud to jump on late. He's 650K now. I would probably try and find the next player like that. And yeah, there's a chance that his minutes do drop. Like Cam Murray came back this week. We were meant to see what the true minutes were going to look like. Cam Murray played most of that game on the edge. If Talis Duncan goes back into the back row when Latrell comes back, Cam Murray stays at lock, Ewan Aitken enters the middle forward rotation. What are Keon's minutes going to look like there? Sean Kepi is also due back reasonably soon. I'm a Keon owner. I hope he keeps this going, but I can see reasons why it would fall over a bit or at least be moderated back to a more average, score, like a 50, 55 type of average instead of the 60 plus we've seen. So if I didn't have Kolomatangi, unless it really worked for my team, I'd just rather go Payne Haas. I'd rather go Preston for the value, 100K cheaper, should average close to the same. Like I'd take those swings instead, Turtle. So for mine, I just sort of feel like it's too late. Like if you didn't do it, during the buy period or even last week, I guess there was that injury scare. You probably just let this one go.
I feel like, last week was the final week because I think he jumped like 50K or 60K last week. And that was basically the tipping point where it's like, he's nice and cheap. You're going to get him at good value and there's not too much of a risk. Now he's 650K and you're like, it's only a short jump to get to Payne Haas. It's like 90K. And you're like, I would take Payne Haas any day of the week over Keon. So it's just, if Payne Haas wasn't an option, we would be convincing everyone to buy Keon right now. But he is an option, so Payne Haas as it is.
So easy. Peter mentioned it too. No mention of Noah Martin. Just a bit awkward. We got all these edge back rowers we're talking about. There are better value plays and there are better, top line plays. Noah Martin had 68 meters running that game. Like he scored a try. I love the try. I don't like the consistency of his involvement. Like there were a lot of games earlier in the year too. When he was a cheapie, it was okay. But he had those 50 meter, 60 meter, 70 meter games. I like my edge back rowers to average 120 meters. Like that's what I'm looking for. That's what we're seeing. Lucas is doing more than that. Olakawatu is doing more than that. Preston, when he's going well, he does that too. So I'm not that keen on Noah Martin, but he is a fun pod and he's a good player. Aitken, do you hold him?
Ooh, so
that's hard. That's awkward. I probably would.
I'll sell him.
I mean, would you sell him for Duncan? Is that the move you're making there?
Oh, are you buying a center? Is that why you have to sell him? Like,
well, Aitken
sell
would
him
be
for
one of your
some other
starting
position.
centers, right?
Why does he
not
not
have
have Shibasaki?
Go Dufty.
It's center is so trash, and
this is why I said hold, man. Like it's dicey.
Yeah. But if you hold, right, so he's 600K at the moment. He scored 2 last week. He's break even 70, so he could easily drop down to 500K in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and it could be a time where you're trying to sell him off to another center, and if he gets injured, because that shortness of breath does not sound good. Like the fact that he got hooked for shortness of breath is kind of wild to me. It's just trade him now while he still has value in him, because he's going to lose money real quick, and it doesn't look like anything's going to improve. Because we said earlier, Latrell's going to come back. Talis Duncan's moving to second row. They're not putting David Fafita on the bench. Like, you want to start the game with David Fafita. So Aitken's future doesn't look promising. So sell him now while he's worth money.
My counter to you is that Talis Duncan is the number one depth piece in that backline. And if any of those old players get injured, Talis Duncan's back out there.
Mm-hmm.
What would it surprise you at all if Latrell came back next week and Jack Whiten wasn't fit, Campbell Graham wasn't fit, whatever it is, right? Like, I just see plenty of potential for Aitken to keep this spot, and if he keeps that back row spot, he averages 55, and he's one of the better centers in fantasy. So my view is, and everything you're saying is valid, but my view is it's worth a bit of a cash hit to wait and see and give him the opportunity to potentially keep that spot. But if you can loophole him this week, just because of that scary, breath thing, definitely do that. Another one, and I look at the bench here too, by the way, like Hubner, LeBlanc, then like Humphreys will play a bit of middle, bit of hooker. Jai Gray is sort of depth there, like Siegwalt, Garlic. It's not a great bench in terms of minute consumption. So I think that's pretty straightforward. But yeah, it depends on your team, right? If you can sell Aitken and it gets you somewhere, then definitely consider it. Now we'll roll through these teams pretty quick because these ones are pretty straightforward. There's more of a hold or sell question on these guys. For the Warriors, it's really, I mean, we're not chasing. Like Leotau was good last week. Pompey, good score last week. AKP can score a try. We all know that. And then, Tamari Martin, he's been producing for us. Is he a hold or a sell? In the forward pack, I mean, if you want to go Barnett, he has been a 60-plus average in the past. They got no Jackson Ford. I could see a world where Barnett's effective. I'm not that interested in it because, like, why would I buy Barnett when I can go get Haas and Preston and all these other players? I prefer them instead. But Barnett could be a shout if you're looking for a cheap middle forward. Aaron Clark, is he a hold or sell is the other question. I'll go to TMM first here because I don't know. Like, I just think we have all these halves turtles. And in any other time, I would be saying definitely hold Tamari Martin. He has money to make. He's scoring well, all that. I may still hold Tamari Martin, but I think he has the least keeper pedigree of the batch of halves that most people have. Right. I have him ranked below Dylan Brown, below Jaden Campbell. Like even last week, he scored that 54 on my loophole spot. I played Dylan Brown over that 54. I started Jaden Campbell over that 54. I feel like they have like that top line upside, and it was put to the test last week, and it sort of showed me, all right, I think I want to keep them. So my view is there are going to be teams that sell Tamari Martin. I don't think he's a sell, but I think he is sellable. Is my answer.
I think it depends on which halves you have as your backup. So when you look at your team, yeah, you have Dylan Brown, you have Campbell, and you have Cleary. Obviously, he's ranked a lot lower. When you look at my team, it's crazy because like our teams, I think we're quite similar in rankings and how much points we have, but our teams are
like
so
10
different.
points apart, bro. It's crazy.
I know our teams are so your halves are Cleary. Everyone has Cleary, so let's just not count him. You have Dylan Brown, Campbell, and Tamara Martin. I have Tamara Martin as well. But I have Hines. I have Fletcher Sharp. Like we've gone different ways, and it still has that. Like we're so close. It's kind of wild. So
do you have
when
Joey
I
Walsh?
look at no Joey Walsh.
I have Joey Walsh. We've gone
Joey
opposite
Walsh
ways.
well. Complete opposite ways. So when I'm looking at my side, okay, yeah, I have Cleary and Hines. That's great. The next best half is Tamara Martin. So if you're someone like me and you have my team, something similar to that, and you don't have the Campbell, you don't have the Dylan Brown, then you're probably holding Tamara Martin. If you have a team similar to Longy and you have those players that I just mentioned, then yeah, he's probably lower on the pecking order. So you can probably move him on. This is like a lot of the questions that get asked us, it really depends on your team, right? Like I've just highlighted that fact.
Big time, man. Like, no, I think a lot of teams that they're going to be in that spot where they're going, all right, which of my halves do I sell for Hines? Because everyone wants Hines right now. I think TMM is probably going to be the answer from my perspective for a lot of them. But I was saying that last week too. Like even last week, there were a lot of people in the team advice segment where they had to sell a half to make things work. And I said sell Tamari Martin. I don't think he has that keeper upside compared to Brown. I think Brown maybe has it, but I don't think Tamari Martin has it personally. The kick meters and the run meters aren't great either. Like he was below 100 meters run, below 200 meters kicked last week. He's getting a lot of these weird like forced turnovers and offloads and attacking plays, and they're probably going to come again this week. But I just see him maybe sort of tanking off a bit down the stretch. Now for the rest of the Warriors, I mean, you're talking about like Aaron Clark. Do I hold or sell Aaron Clark? He's been pretty rubbish for fantasy recently. Super stud player. Maybe he improves now with their forward contingent back. Fisher Harris is back. Mitch Barnett's back. He's better running off some genuine props. So we could see Barnett improve. If you're a Barnett owner, I view him a bit similar to Tarpanay. I think he's slightly better in terms of his role, but I'm pretty okay with like a Barnett to Payne Haas trade. And then Sorry, not Barnett. Aaron Clark, Payne Haas trade. And then Barnett, a lot of people are asking about Barnett right now as well. Do you like Barnett? In a quick sort of summary, do you think this is worth doing it, 500 and something K, or is this one to skip?
Skip. Just a skip.
Skip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's the wrong time. Unless you're really low on cash at one of your pod teams or something, skip. And then Malachi, thank you for the tip, mate. Reece Walsh, run home keeper. It's a high risk, high reward play. He is definitely a keeper option. I'm holding out for Tedesco myself. I like the safety of Teddy, but Reece Walsh, you could take a shot at that if you're a believer in the Broncos. Panthers match up at the start here. Not a great one, but we have seen, fantasy players dominate against Penrith. Now, for the Dragons, I got nothing to say here, Turtles. Like, I just think like Toby Couchman, top line keeper, he's a guy you can target. He's very affordable. I would probably this week choose Toby over Twal. And the reason for that is I think their minutes are going to be a bit more similar for the run home. I like the dual position, and I'm a little scared of the bye that Twal has coming up. So last week we're talking about Twal. This week, Dragons are off their bye. I'm probably going Toby if I was buying one of the two. What's your take there?
I think so. I feel like everyone has 2 out of the 3 of the Couchman Bros plus Stewart. So I know you have Hamish and Ryan. I have Toby and Ryan. I don't have Stewart. So everyone has 2. I've seen a lot of coaches have 3, which is kind of crazy because all 3 of them have been doing quite well.
Well,
Toby's
I'll shout out Kate in the comments. She sent hers before.
Yeah.
She has them and Egan as well. So 4.
Oh God, she is a true Dragons believer. Like more of a believer than I am with my Broncos because I only have Shibastaki on my team. So I might go out and buy Haas and she's inspired me. Just back your team, right? So I might just do that this week. Coming back to this, it's like you have 2 out of the 3. Most people, I'm saying like 80% of people, I reckon, you're probably not going to go to get another one. It's just there's too many other good options. You have the opportunity to get a specialist edge, or you have Payne Haas. And there's a plethora of options this week, and there so many of them are undervalued and super cheap that you can get, and you're just surrounded by all these bargains. Why would you go buy like Toby Couchman's not making money? And I know we're not at a stage where you're trying to make money either. It's just you're getting the guy who's going to outscore him as well. Like I'm probably penciling in Payne Haas to outscore Toby Couchman for the run home. So
the other thing I'll say is if you already have like a few of those guys, like I've seen some people saying that they have all the players we're talking about, right? And they're loaded, right? And you're looking at like I'll give you an example, like Toby Couchman versus Twal we talked about there. Toby Couchman versus Olakwatu. Couchman's about 50K cheaper. He's been averaging in the mid 60s the last 5 weeks. The minute's been really good. Dual position. The big differentiator for me is he doesn't have a bye in this run home. Olakwatu has that round 22 bye, the same time as Turbo, the same time as Joey Walsh, the same time as Simpkin. Like, I don't know who you guys have at Manly, but there are some options that you might have. Could be a bit tricky. So I'm just flagging that one up. I think Toby Couchman's a viable option, but like you said, I prefer Haas as that primary target. I really like Preston. I like Nico Hines a lot. There's just not room financially for Toby Couchman. For the rest of these guys too, like Hamish Stewart, Ryan Couchman. A few of you guys have asked. A2WA, I'll put your one up. Is Hamish or Ryan a sell? They've been a bit average recently, but I don't think you're selling them right now. I think they've shown over a long period of time like some great consistency. Hamish Stewart, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure he hasn't scored below 50 in the edge back row spot.
And because they don't count his missed tackles. So definitely not under 50. Like I said earlier, this matchup is great for the Dragons. Earlier, I said that the Warriors have the highest completion rates. They play very much through the middle, and the Dragons are a basic team as well, so they do the same. They just don't have that flair in the back line like the Warriors do. So the Warriors kind of do the same thing, but they do it better compared to the Dragons.
Yeah.
Looking at this, Toby Couchman's only averaging 2 less in the past 3 games compared to Olakwatu, and you're not trading out any of these Dragons players. I said that all those 3 Dragons players, Couchman Bros plus Stewart, are going to score 50 minimum. I'm doubling down here. I'm saying all 3 of them score 60 plus this week.
Ooh,
all 3 of them.
I hope you're right.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
I think this matchup's the best. It seriously is.
It's a good matchup. Yeah, I'm with you there. I think it could be a cracker. Also, Kate, by the way, she's not a Dragons fan. She's a Sharks fan. Just has
Oh,
a soft spot for the Dragons, it seems. Warriors
that's fine.
2-4-1-1. Tigers desperate to be in the 8. Good for the run. We could see that happen, or we could see them fall apart. We're seeing Luai, their spiritual leader, after 33 games. His lifetime as a Tiger is over. It was a short life, but one well lived. They nearly got to the finals this year, maybe. And then Polly here, Aitken to score 70 plus. It's a bit of belief. I like that. Clifford at lock. Let's see if Clifford is on. Yeah, people are excited about this Clifford lock news, Turtles. And they're not even the next game. All right, Dogs.
One sec. Before you move on, all right. Round 12, which wasn't that long ago, 7 weeks ago. Dragons versus the Warriors. Toby Couchman went for 80 points. Hamish Stewart, 66 points. Ryan Couchman, 60 points. I'm penciling all three of them for a 60 minimum this week. They've done it like 7 weeks ago. It's going to happen again. Do not trade any Dragons players. Sorry, go on.
So apparently Clifford's not at lock. Yeah, okay, keep them all in. Do you think Aaron Clark goes 60 plus as well?
Yes. So he does a lot better when he has two proper forwards. So without Ford and then Fisher Harris, he's kind of been trying to do other things. Now he has Barnett and Fisher Harris basically running those dirty hit-ups. He has that short ball play. He has a little bit ball making skills. The fact that he doesn't have to do as much himself, he has more room to move to get those fantasy.
Dragons are a good matchup too. Now let's rip this game. This one's pretty light for fantasy, so it'll be pretty quick. For the Bulldogs, obviously no Stephen Crichton this week. He's on the extended bench. Kikiar comes back too. I'm not buying Stephen Crichton this week. I have interest in him in the half spot, but he'd need to come out and play some full games. It's probably a bit easier now that he will lose a bit of cash or stay stagnant price-wise. So you can just put him on your watch and see list. If you have Karaz, it's a really good matchup. Like the Tigers is a really friendly matchup. They've missed, especially on the edges, they're missing a lot of tackles. We could see Karaz step up in this one. I could see a well breeze decent, like Galvin O'Sullivan, bit of an unproven sort of halves pairing. But if you have Karaz, I'm umming and ahhing about this. I'm probably going to start Karaz this week just because of the matchup, but I am a little bit worried about that rib issue. Yeah, that's a bit of a worry. And then for the rest of the dog side, it's Jacob Preston, 556K. Super straightforward. Preston averaged 58 when he played full games last year. I think his full game average this year is about a 55. And he's been a little bit out of form. So I could see him pushing back up to that 60. Especially when you look at this dog side. They got belted last week, but they're improving. They got no buys remaining. He's one of the only edge back rows with no buys left. And at the price point, it's just too good. So I think Preston is a really easy option. Turtles, I'll just ask you this one quickly. Karaz, a sell. What would have to happen for you to consider selling Karaz?
Injury for 2 or more weeks.
Yep, easy. And another one for you, Preston on Nakora for the run home?
Preston.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like Nakora, but I think Preston has that top line 60 upside. For the Tigers, Dream Buller is so cheap. We're not going to do it. In fact, this whole back line for the Tigers, I'm pretty sure no one's above 400K. Like they might be all under 350 even. Like it's very cheap. Jerome Luai, Adam Dewey. Like I love Dewey as a player, but that shoulder, they're not playing great footy right now, so that's not really that interesting.
Also happy that like 2 or 3 weeks ago when the debate was whether it was Dewey or Hines, we were both firmly on Hines, and Hines has clearly outscored him over those 2 or 3 weeks. So during that week, I'm pretty sure I bought Hines, and I've been so happy since. Just that 100-point game last week.
Dewey stayed fit. He's been
it's crazy. Yeah.
Tigers just really not in great form. Forward pack here, I'm not really chasing like Hayward and Lanyon and these guys. It's a very short-term window where Coruscant's out. In the Twile you can go for. He's pretty pricey right now. Twile is dropping in price a bit. And the minutes, 60-odd minutes last week, I'll give him a little bit more time. I might jump on the week after if there are injuries, but he's not my first choice. I'm sort of looking for that exciting upside, and we haven't really seen that from Twile as much recently. I'm not really considering captaining May at any point. I think Cleary's that guy to captain right now as well. And if you want to go for one of the edge back rows in a good matchup, you can take a swing at one of them too. So that game is super straightforward. I'll just quickly hit some chat. I'm calling at least one fight to happen in the Bulldogs-Tigers game. Jonah has a beautiful religious display picture, and he's calling out fights.
He's the one starting the fight. He's gonna be there. It's gonna be like the 1 minute left in the game, and he's gonna be like, "Wait, no one started a fight. You know what? I'll put money on this. I'm gonna start fighting."
Rushes the field. And we got a tip for the Tigers upset. Interesting. Is Suka a red dot keeper? Now Suka is like 500k. Definitely downgrade Suka and use that cash. So let's keep ropping through because that's a pretty straightforward game. That one. Titans versus Seagulls. Again, this one's pretty easy too. So for the Titans, it's do you hold Keeney? Is he a keeper for the run home? Do you hold Jaden Campbell? Is he a keeper for the run home? Is there any interest in Tino after a week where he had like -20 and negatives, but was pretty involved? And that's basically it. Is Pasco a keeper for the run home? I'll talk Pasco first. Then you can choose between Keeney, Campbell, and Tino. For Pasco, I think there's a great chance. And we talked about this last week. I was telling a lot of people, but like play Pasco over Grant this week because of the fact that we saw Verrills in that jersey 18, and we saw Pasco getting a rest because of fatigue. Now, after a week off and a bye, it looked like he might get the 80 minutes, and he did. There's no guarantee he keeps getting that, but I think he'll play enough minutes that he'll be useful on the end of your bench. If you do want to sell him, I'm not going to talk you out of it. Like there are ways you can go. You could downgrade to, or if you wanted to go to Owen Paddy and free up cash, and it helps you get to someone else. For certain teams, I can see the appeal of that. But overall, I think if you have Pasco, he's not a big glaring hole you have to get rid of, but he is a guy you can move. So again, he's not a sell, but he's sellable. Turtles, Keeney, Campbell, Tino. Who you want to talk on?
I'll take Keeney. So I'm in the market for trying to buy a fullback to fill my wing fullback spots because, like I said, I have all these roller coaster wingers who basically I have to loop every single week to try to get the best out of them. But Keeney, no more buys left. He looked good on the field. The Titans, they were competitive against the Storm. Like they looked good, and they obviously have lapses in their game, and that's kind of just typical of the Titans. But Keeney's doing a lot to get his points. It's not like he's just mucking around and being like Terrell May, where he's just stat padding. Like Keeney's out there, like trying really, really hard to make this Titans team win, and I love that. I love that watching that. So it's a toss up because Teddy's unavailable. It's a toss up between Keeney, Ponga, and Teddy for me. I'm kind of in that mindset where I shouldn't buy Ponga because I'm not going to gain ranks on anyone. I'm just going to break even. So it's probably Keeney or Walsh. It's a tough call because I think the Titans might be doing better than the Broncos at the moment, which is very hard for me to say. And it's the question of will the Broncos do better in the run home without looking at our past anymore? Because that's what we're buying these players for. So maybe I go Walsh over Keeney. Keeney is a bit of a roller coaster himself. He's probably one of the roller coaster fullbacks, right? Like you're not confident playing him every week. Like
he's been in lights out form though. But I'm with you. The issue is that he's now priced at the higher end of what he can do. So you're paying full price. Whereas with Walsh, like you're talking about, he's so affordable. And Potato sent through the Tigers back line. they're very so affordable. That is disgusting, the price points there. Question for you here from Water is Lost. Would you buy Keeney or Ponga? I think you go for Ponga, unless getting Keeney allowed you to go do something else crazy. But I think pretty cleanly you go for Ponga in that equation. I'll quickly talk about Campbell because I'm a Campbell owner. It's not great. It's not great. Like that game last week, 66 points. It looks good. It feels good. Full field intercept try. And he has an intercept try in his game, but you get 4 points for the turnover. You get, a big run, 100 meters. That's another 10 points there. You get the try for 4 points. I think you had a tackle break in that too. So you're looking at this big bundle of points, 25 odd points there. Without that, he's in the 40s, like lower 40s. It's less than ideal. They do have some good fixtures coming up. They don't have a bye remaining. That's kind of what's steering me towards potentially keeping him. But I could see a world where if I needed the money, I would sell him over potentially selling Tamari Martin. The thing I think about, though, is like Jaden Campbell versus Tamari Martin, right? Campbell's base is better than Tamari Martin's. He's got a more consistent running game. He has a more consistent kicking game. And he goal kicks as well. Whereas Tamari Martin, it's a reduced version of what Campbell does, but in a better Warriors team with a few more attacking stats. So which one do I think is more likely to hurt me? on the run home? Which one do I think will produce an average that is useful? Which one would I love to have in a loophole spot? That sort of thing, right? I think Campbell has more upside. So I'm just going to swing for the upside. I think that Campbell is that guy. Whereas I think Tamari Martin has more plod in his game. Those early games, he had some big scores. He's sort of reduced back to a 40s, 50s type of guy, maybe low 60s when he gets a bunch of turnovers and like silly stats like that. I'd rather keep Campbell. So my view on Campbell, guys, is if you can sell him to go to Hines and it's like a trade that it makes sense for you, do it, but don't rush to sell Campbell. I don't mind him as an end of season keeper in my team where I don't have enough trades to do everything I want to do with my side. So I think Campbell is probably the third best half in fantasy for the run home, behind Hines and behind Cleary. Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, Tino's easy. Like I don't think Tino's a keeper, so that's pretty easy. Now we can talk to Manly here instead. This is pretty straightforward two tells. Like Turbo, people are looking at buying him still. Joey Walsh was a cash out, not anymore. I wouldn't chase that. Fogarty's not a top line keeper. I'm not that interested. Simpkin, I wouldn't chase him now. If you have him, you stick with him. He's produced a 48 and a 56 the last 2 weeks, so pretty good scoring. Olakau'atu. We've talked Olakau'atu to death. We like Lucas better than Olakau'atu this week, guys. That's sort of the answer on that one. Probably, Turtles, your Hudson Young over Olakau'atu. I'm probably in the same boat, but if I needed to buy one this week, I'd go Olakau'atu. If it was next week, I'd go Hudson Young. I want to ask you, though, about Turbo. Do you think there's any appeal to buying him right now at the price he's at? Looked awesome in the first half last week. I think he was on like 38 points at halftime, ended on 48. Do you have any interest?
That game, exactly what you said. Basically, the first half made me regret not buying him. And then the second half, which is kind of crazy because the game was in the balance. They lost to a field goal in extra time. So like the game was in the balance and we didn't see Tommy Turbo step up. And what you want to see him do is step up because when he steps up, he's producing fantasy points. In the second half, he kind of became a passenger. And I don't want to, basically, we have very limited amount of trades left. I don't want to buy passengers. I want players to play. I don't want players to just play one half and then watch the other half. Like, that's not what I'm buying them for. This whole podcast, I've been basically saying I'm in the market for a wing fullback, in particular, an actual fullback instead of a winger. And I haven't even thought about Tommy Turbo once. It's Walsh, Keeney, like Teddy next week. Turbo's not even in the picture at the moment for me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of with you. I benched Turbo last week. So I have Turbo. I benched him. I played Trey Fuller because I saw it was a sunny day. Trey Fuller produced 60 in a game where he lost 66-0, which is incredible. I played Suafea Longo over Turbo and Kalen Ponga over Turbo. And I did that outright, right? I just think Turbo, again, same as you, first half, I was regretting it a little bit, but the other three I went 60 plus, so can't complain too much. A few people have mentioned NT, Turbo not doing amazing. He's doing well. Like his base is really nice. And he's producing like very solid 40 to 60 type scores. Not going on with it. Against Parramatta the week before, massive first half. He was on like 36 at halftime, ended on, somewhere in like around 48 points last week. So he's having these really quiet second halves, which I don't know if he's not fully fit or, whatever it is. I think Manly need him to be better. So maybe he does light it up on the run home. I personally wouldn't chase him though. Like with such a low amount of trades, the only reason I got Turbo was because of round 18. That was the entirety of why I chose Turbo over other players. If Walsh was available round 18, I would have gone Walsh instead of Turbo. And I would have done it without much thought. So if I was tossing them up this week, I'd go Walsh over Turbo again. Doesn't have any buys coming up. Pretty easy one there. So that's pretty straightforward for them. And then Dolphins versus Cowboys. I think that's our last game. So we'll hit that one. We'll do a few trade questions at the end as well, guys. But Dolphins round 21 bye, man, it's going to be tough because we all have Jack Bostock, Isaiah Katoa, Herbie Farmworth, Trey Fuller. Oh, wait, no, we don't have any of those guys anymore. We just have Herbie. Herbie on the back of a disgusting score. I am so salty at him for killing us with his low captain score, all those of us who jumped on him. But Dolphins, again, it's really straightforward. You're not really chasing any of these Dolphins players. Like you could talk about Fenefuiaki if you wanted to go a pod. I like Preston better with the pedigree, but Fenefuiaki is a fantastic player. Dolphins are really bad right now, though. Like he scored 52 last week on the back of 52 tackles. So you're kind of backing that to happen again. I don't really love it. And on the Cowboys side, maybe Drinkwater gets the goal kicking back. Like Clifford wasn't great in goal kicking last week. Is Tom Dearden coming back at some point this year, or like Jersey
I
22?
thought he was meant to come. He was meant to come back last week, and then they said no, we're gonna like hold him out another week. And then I was expecting to be named this week because I'm pretty sure last week when we did the show, I was like probably Drinkwater might be a buy next week because he does better when Dearden's in the game as well. So when they have Dearden and Clifford as their halves, Drinkwater does better, whether he's goal kicking or not. Obviously, goal kicking is an added bonus, and after last week's game, you kind of expect that he should go back to goal kicking. The fact that Dearden's back is not back yet is kind of steering me away from Drinkwater. He's at that really juicy price point. He's at 540k, I think. So similar to that Teddy thing where it's like you want to buy him at this price. The downside is I think the Cowboys have one more buy left, and you're probably just waiting off to get Teddy next week anyway. So probably a wait and see for Drinkwater for me.
Yeah, and there's Hammer here as well. So Jared's asking Hammer or Walsh. I'm not that keen on Hammer. Very try dependent, and he's in a team that just lost 66-0. So not that keen on him. Drinky is interesting. He's a good. What's Drinky priced at now? Like scored that 60 last week.
I think 540,
that's
545.
the kind of price we always talk about it. Yeah, 545. 100k down on the start of the year. That's the kind of price we like. If I got confirmation he was goal kicking, I'd be interested.
Oh, that makes him a lot better.
Yeah. I'll give you the last 5 games though. 26, 23, 63, 38, and 53. So
it hasn't
really,
been, it hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's one game I would like. Like 53, even that I don't like that much.
And a lot of those games, notice how there's no Dearden. So it's, to me, like Dearden and Clifford are their best halves. Like I don't think Purdue is really a half. I think he does okay as an attacking center. Defensively, not that great. But it just, when they have Dearden and Drinkwater and Clifford all in the same team playing, because Drinkwater is kind of like that dynamic attacking fullback. He's not really that like super run hard Dylan Edwards or Teddy Carver player. He's kind of more of a playmaker. So you add in another attacking weapon like Dearden, then suddenly the Cowboys' attack looks better. Drinkwater gets more involved, translates to fantasy points. So I really wanted to see Dearden this week.
Yeah, I probably won't jump on Drinkwater, but I don't know. They're in the 8th spot, so they could make a run. Round 25 buy for the Cowboys it's not a disaster, but by round 25, Turtles, I'm gonna have very few trades. Like my trades have bumped up to 9. They're gonna rewind back down to 0. maybe that week I'll use my last trade. I don't know. It's worrisome. We got some questions here too, and guys, fire your questions through now. Thank you all for jumping on as well. We love it. Throw those questions through. Is it okay to hold Chester as a wing fullback center cover? Chester was great for the first 20 minutes last week. Lights out footy, scored that try. He was on 30 points after 20 minutes, ended on 27. It's disgusting. And they won that game.
I was so filthy about that. I was so filthy.
So
like I had Kiraz, and Kiraz went under like 22 or something. So I was like, I'm gonna loop because I had Shibasaki as my looper. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna loop. I'm gonna bring in Chester. I watched the first half, and I'm like, yes, Chester's doing amazing. He scored a try in the first 10 minutes.
So good.
And then halftime happens. I leave the house, and I come back to the score, and I'm like, wow, it's a really close game. Field goal, everything. Check Chester's score, and I'm like, how did he lose points by playing an extra 42 minutes? It doesn't make sense. And yeah, I was really gutted about that because I felt like I was already in for a monster score that week. It's just having Chester to get like a 50 or 60 would have really been the icing on the cake there. But yeah, for me, I'm probably. Can you hold him as a death piece? Like you've held him this long, probably, because I don't think Kiraz will play the rest of the season. He's just got too many injuries. They're eventually gonna pile on and affect him too much. Is he gonna limp home? Is he gonna limp home the whole way?
Yeah, he'll get there. 491k by the way for Chester. So Chester has cracked 80 0 times since the first major buy round. So round 12 was 50. Last time he cracked 50 was round 12. He's at 27, 48, 21, 36, 30.
It's the Dearden thing. The team's not as good without Dearden. and
Yeah.
because he just didn't got injured just before the bye round, so he couldn't get picked for Queensland, and obviously he was injured. I think he got injured round 11 or something, around 10. And since then, Drinkwater went down, Chester went down, because everyone had Chester to start the year,
Bro,
and we were just
this
saying
this
hold
run
him.
though, that 5 games I told you about, he's got 3 tries in 5 games there. So like a 30 with that try, a 48 with a double. I reckon you give him the flick. We
Give him
have
the
a
flick.
question
Okay.
coming here too. So Tancred Bay, thank you for the tip, mate. Appreciate that. I'll use some of that to buy you a beer, Turtles. But he wants a bet for who gets to wear the Panthers jersey. I think since he's sent a tip like that, we have to do it. The Panthers v Broncos game, we talked about it. 12 or more, 12 or under. Last time it was a dead tie, right? I reckon we do it again. The Panthers play the Eels next week in Parramatta. I will wear a Panthers jersey to that game if I lose the bet, which will, by the way, be the most. I hate the Panthers. And to my own team's home game, it will be the most humiliating thing. And I'm going to be meeting up with guys who I do a para podcast with. So I will be shamed to heck. What's your side of this bet?
I'll wear the Panthers jersey. I don't think I can go to the game because the Thursday game is hard for me because the school starts back up
It's
next
not
week.
your team anyway, so it wouldn't be that special.
Yeah, but
You reckon
like
you'll go to
just
Magic Round next
rocking
year?
up in the Panthers thing would be funny. But like,
We could delay yours. So
Panthers.
what about this for you? If the Panthers win by a bunch, you're going to go to Magic Round next year, I would expect. You have to
Maybe,
wear
yeah.
a Panthers jersey
for one day.
one day
Whole
of Magic
day.
Round.
Yeah, one whole day.
Yeah. And
All right,
it
I
just
want
not
to
the day
make
the
a
Broncos
change.
play.
I also want to make a change to the bet.
Yep.
It has to be like there's no draw, so I get the 12.
You get
Panthers
the
are
12.
huge
All right.
favorites to win this.
All right, you get the 12. I'll be generous.
Yeah, so it's
and I'll give
13
you
plus
that.
for you and 1 to 12 for me.
Okay,
Panthers
done.
either win or Broncos win.
All right, there's our bet. Panthers. If I have to rock up next week to a Panthers, the worst thing is too that
This
para
is gonna be
podcast.
so
There's a pub that sponsors us that wants to do a bit of a photo shoot. I'll be wearing a Panthers jersey in those photos, which is filthy. Okay,
That's gonna be so
I'm going to
good.
give you a refund and cancel all of this. Actually, I don't want to do that. No, we'll stick with it. We'll stick with it. That's a. Why have I offered that up? That's horrendous.
Spicy
More
bet.
questions here. How do you like Tomoko to Teddy next week? I love that trade. I think it's a banger. Is Kraz a sell? I'm going to say no. The rib injuries, they're normally a bit of a short-term thing. We saw Drinkwater was affected for a couple of weeks. Kraz had the bye week and then this week, and they got smashed by Canberra as well. I think Kraz will bounce back. And at this point, you just got to take the gamble and stick with him. Is Jacob Laban worth keeping? I think like on the back of a big score last week against the Dragons, pretty good matchup. You keep him. Keep him till the wheels fall off. You could force him out, but what is he like 490, 500K? It's not worth it just yet. Thoughts on Coruscant to Paddy Seifert? This is an essay. I'm a bit air about like Sharp to Dufty. Don't love that. Willison to Hines I like. Seifert to Haas I like. Coruscant to Paddy I like. I'd probably just try to scrap the Haas, the Sharp to Dufty part. I think you could go that way, but I think Sharp will get that dual position soon. So I'd probably rather keep him. Craig Bellamy, Long, can you do a blonde beard bet for Kale Ero to average 50 plus? Normally when I make these bets, I really believe what I'm saying, and I don't believe that about Ero.
But they have this really good run home. They're playing 2 top 8 teams in the next 8 games, 6 bottom 8 teams.
All right, done. Done.
What are you doing to him,
Ero,
Craig Bellamy?
Ero blonde beard, done. But I want something from you in the school holidays. So what will you do? Blonde hair?
Okay. The 6-week school holiday, so the one at the end of the year?
Big one.
Yeah, I'll dye my hair blonde.
All right, done. So Ero bet here, over 50, under 50. I'll go blonde beard if Ero averages under 50. You go blonde hair if it's over 50. 50 on the dot.
Am I saying he's over 50?
Sorry, other way around. So you're saying unders. You're backing him to be unders.
Okay.
You happy with that?
Yeah, okay.
You only have to keep it for a couple of weeks.
Injury. Yeah, there you go, Craig Bellamy. Like, I know you have Eero, so we're low key wishing you the best here.
Well, you're not, but I am.
Yeah, I'm in it for the
All right.
spirit
I
fun of
think
it.
that's going to be my blonde beard. So I think I'll be screwed. Phil Eel, I'm telling security not to let Longy in if he wears a Panthers jersey next week.
Ooh.
I'll get beat up on the street for a Panthers jersey. And then crazy for selling Brown. You could do it. Brown has shown some signs recently of being a potential keeper. I'm going to stick with him a bit longer and just hope for the best. It's been a really good run of scores, really good base. And he has attacking upside on top of that base as well. So I think you stick with him. Willison or Tarpanay to Preston and Hines. Want to keep Aitken for Herbie cover in the buy. Yeah, Herbie has that buy next week. So Aitken's a good hold for that. Would you rather sell Willison or Tarpanay, Turtles? I'm thinking Tarpanay, actually.
Tarpanay. I'll sell Tarpanay.
Yeah. Well, Willison's one injury away from being a keeper, whereas Tarpanay doesn't really have it.
Yeah, the Broncos need players. So like Tarpanay, it's not looking good because Papali'i just got back. I know Payne Haas and Carrigan's come back, but we still don't have any forwards. So Willison is still 60, 70-minute games.
Yeah, he should be good. Okay, boom. I agree with that. Kate, seconds the request for the Euro bet. He's outscored Herbie the last 2 weeks. That doesn't
great.
say much.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Kate.
my captain versus my worst center. I really love watching those two go against each other. And then the keg here, we need photos of the blonde. We'll definitely get. I mean, if I lose, I'll do it for the. I guess it'll be the final series, so I'll still be making content then. And if you do it, it'll be school holidays, but we'll get photos. We'll record some videos, and we'll get it out there. And then sell Fogarty. I'm okay with that. Crazy to sell Galvin.
Hold him
do
this
that,
game.
yeah. What?
Hold him this game. Hold him this game because there's no critter in the halves, and Burton's still not in the half. So Galvin would do
O'Sullivan
everything.
might kick a bunch though. Yeah, he should be okay. And
Up against
NT,
Tigers.
can't believe you made that bet.
I don't know who he's talking to. Is he talking to you or talking to me? Like
talking to me, bro. Like I've been raging about Euro for a month now. No, I have to keep Euro for this bet. You watch, Euro's going to score 80 this week. Like it just
wait. Which bet is he talking about? What if he's talking about the Panthers bet?
I think you've taken the outsider on the Panthers. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but like it's like I don't know which bet he's talking about. Bloodhair bet or
let us
Panthers
know, NT. And Nico a must have. Yep, we love Nico for this week. So hold Willison. Willison, I'm selling Willison. I sold him last week. But if you were choosing between Tarpanay and Willison, I'd hold Willison over Tarpanay. Like, I think you want to, when you're trading players out, if you're trading them out over this week and next week, the guys you sell next week should be the ones who maybe there's a way they become a keeper, you know? Whereas the guys you sell this week are the guys that you know for sure aren't going to be keepers, like your Tarpanays and those types of players. So keep the door open. Same as like Pasco. That's why I'm kind of saying, like take your time with Pasco. Take your time with Dylan Brown. Like maybe Brown is really good this week as well, and he proves he's a keeper. Like that's more the play there. Hold or sell Harrison, easy sell. Sharp to Hines or Haas head to head. Do you like Hines or Haas?
I like Hines because I think Hines will get more hundreds than Haas will.
I'll vote Haas just to split things and make it unhelpful. Who to captain out of Cleary? Herbie. It's actually disgusting you've included Herbie in that list. Lucas, Haas, and Ponga. I think it's Cleary, but I know Turtles. Are you genuinely not going to do the Thursday curse Cleary?
See, if the Knights were versing anyone but the Sharks, if they were versing a bottom 8 team, I'll probably go Lucas again. It's just versing the Sharks who are in red hot form. It's very scary. And then Payne Haas is also versing Cleary, so it takes that out of the equation. Herbie is Herbie, so probably can't pick him. It's hard. Captains are hard this week. I don't know yet. Come back to me later.
I think it's easy. Let's go Cleary. I think it's super easy. Stuff the. Don't worry about the Thursday curse. We're all good. And then casual baller. You guys still rolling, mate? These weeks are big weeks. These are the weeks where you're making the biggest decisions. So it's always really deep conversation.
And I bet you Ballers is doing 4 trades.
Yeah, Baller's doing 10 trades.
He's doing 10 trades. This is the video you want to see.
Yeah, this is the one. This is 100% the one. And then who to captain out of Cheese and Going? Oh, yeah.
Probably Cheese, because you can get that -4 points potential, because you'll go -2 and you'll get -4 doubled.
There's a team, Turtles, where I've picked Cheese up this week, actually. On footycasual.com, my lowest scoring draft team has Cheese in it.
You were hating
Think
it
of it
last
in the
week. His
forward
points
spot.
doubled. He went from during the updates. He went from 2 points to 4 points.
So many points. And last question here. Here we go. Teddy, Walsh, Turbo,
Ooh.
Dufty for the run home. I would say, I think
Wait,
Teddy is
before
really
you
solid.
pick, you have to pick 2 of them.
Okay.
Pick 2 out of those.
Let's draft. I'll go Teddy first.
Great. I'll take Walsh.
I'm going to go Dufty.
Damn, I wanted Dufty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
need some upside.
Okay, yeah, I'll take Turbo then.
I mean, Turbo's good. I have Turbo, but it's Dufty at that price, man. I don't need a wing fullback. I'm tempted though. I'm really tempted. Oh.
Well, that basically
Anyway.
tells Craig our rankings of those 4. Like Teddy's number 1, Walsh is probably second, Dufty third, and then Turbo.
Yeah, bang. And then absolute top line starting 13 run home. We'll finish on this here. So at the hooker spot, are we agreed? Brayley?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Middle forward, you've got Terrell May has to be in there.
Payne Haas. Toby?
Is Twal?
Oh, Twal or Toby? I like Toby more than Twal.
Let's go Twal and Toby, and one of them will be on the bench, right?
Okay.
So you have one bench player.
Mm-hmm.
Edge forward, Dylan Lucas for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I say Huddy Young.
Let's go Young and Olakawatu and pick Olakawatu or Young on the bench. Yep.
Yeah.
In the halves, Cleary and Hines is easy.
Mm-hmm.
In the center spot, definitely Herbie, and then it's probably Talis Duncan.
Yep, unless Latrell comes back. Yep.
Yeah, and then when Latrell's back, you pick him. At the wing fullback spot, definitely Suafei Longo, definitely Kellen Ponga.
Probably Teddy.
Not Karaz. Maybe Karaz if he gets back to normal, but probably Teddy, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
Teddy, good Roosters team. So you got Teddy. We got 2 spots on our bench we can fill.
You'll have like another half, like Campbell or something like that. Someone who has that upside.
I guess he's starting 13, but we'll go Campbell for an upside swing. He's like a nice loophole guy. Maybe Harry Grant, maybe Hamish Stewart, Ryan Couchman.
Yeah, one of the Dragons guys, just for that solid 55 every week minimum, with that upside of 65s or something.
And then Josh Houston, number 1 fan. Brelly over Grant's crazy. It's because Grant has a bye. That's honestly the split there. Otherwise, I'd probably
just to break that down. Like, there's only 8 games left. If your one player if you're comparing the 2 players over those 8 games, okay, Brayley scores 50. Harry Grant has to score like 60 something just to make up for that one extra game where he would have scored 50. All right. So the fact that that one extra game is in play for those 8 games is huge.
Unless you have a great backup and they do a job. But Grant's bye is awkward. Like, it's round 24. So, like guys like Simpkin might fade out by then. And Paddy, there's no guarantee of that continuing. So that's the play. All right, Turtles, this has been a cracker of a stream. I feel like we've talked it to death. So thank you for jumping on. Thanks everyone for tuning in as well. This final team is getting a lot of chat going. But I appreciate you all for jumping on. And look, rip in this week. If you're watching this later, drop your trades. And look, buy, hold, sell will come out at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Otherwise, have a good one. Rip in. Use 4 trades. Tear it up. Let's go. Let's be aggressive. Let's rip in. So, any last words, Turtles?
If you burn 4 trades this week, I guarantee you in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a rewind segment and you're going to be looking back at those 2 weeks and being like, why did I burn all those trades? So you guys out there. So good luck.
We're not